And we should be live. Hey,
Yay.
everybody.
Hey everyone. Uh,
Welcome,
I am
welcome.
I am excited about today. Today we get to talk about my second favorite faction in all of 40K.
You like my shirt?
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Heresy begets retribution is what it says here. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Sisters of Battle as well. Have been since second edition. Um, they're super cool, and this is absolutely going to be a multi-part
Oh
topic.
yeah.
Today is part one, to be clear, because there's so much to discuss that
Yep.
we're gonna be running into our time limit before we get all the way through it. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, without a doubt. Like I don't even think we added the orders or how they go to war properly or all of this other stuff into our notes. We
Well,
wrote notes.
yeah, we're gonna briefly cover the orders, but you can go far more in depth in the orders than what we're going to do today. Why don't actually, Alexis? I'm curious. What drew you to the Sisters of Battle? What was your first exposure to them?
Okay. So, as a bisexual woman myself, I see big guns on big girls in gothic attire. I'm all over that. I absolutely love it. There's a piece of art from fourth edition, and they actually made a miniature of it too in the current edition. But it's the girl holding her bolter like this in the flames, and it just looks so cool. That was what drew me to the Sisters of Battle. That it looked absolutely badass. It was 100% just a girl power moment, and I was just like, "Is that a dead baby in the background with a skull face that is carrying a boombox?
Yeah,
That's the
cherubim,
coolest thing in the world."
cherubim, or something we're going to have to get into because there's some fascinating lore behind them, and I was told at one point by Games Workshop that they were actually imaginary.
Okay.
I know it gets 40K can get very weird. So at one point they were actually just imaginary, but they're now real vat grown servitors that fly
Babies.
around, the creepiest murder babies you've ever seen.
They also
Uh,
reload the guns, which is super useful because
yeah,
I'm doing a whole series of videos on my channels going through like logistics of Warhammer right now, and it's very clear that the writers don't think about logistics, but the game designers actually do, and I really really love it. I'm trying to find the piece of artwork that made me fall in love with it. I think it is in the 10th edition codex.
for me,
Although,
I
go
would
ahead.
I was gonna say for me it was the second edition codex cover, which is drawn by the incomparable John Blanche, um, which that is now a model. The figure from that cover
Yep.
is now the classic sister, quote unquote.
uh, Valeria or whatever her name is. It was the last one I added into our list.
Right. Um, so it's fascinating to kind of study them. Also, some really good novels have been written about them. James Swallow is a guy I follow as a writer, and he wrote some really good
This is fucking awesome.
novels for them. But today, so welcome. In case you don't know who we are, we always need to remember to do this at the beginning of our
Oh
show.
yeah, yeah, we do.
So my name's Ross Watson. I am a 40K author, game designer. Been involved with several of the video games, a lot of the role playing games, and my lovely co-host is
My name is Norn Queen Alexis. I go by Alexis, and I am a cosplayer, as you can see in the background. I am also a Warhammer tournament player and painter.
right, and she knows a hell of a lot of lore too, which is why we're teamed up together here on this show. Because in the grim darkness of the far future,
There is only lore.
yes, love it. So yeah, today we're talking about the Sisters of Battle, or their the proper name within the Adeptus Terra. They are known as the Adepta Sororitas. Um, so to get into who the Sisters of Battle are, we got into a little bit of history of the Imperium. So within a couple thousand years after the end of the Horus Heresy, the innumerable cults worshiping the Emperor throughout the galaxy started to form into power blocks. And the largest power block of these cults became known as the ecclesiarchy. The ecclesiarchy then kind of waged war on all the other little cults until they all kind of said, okay, fine, we're all part of the ecclesiarchy. But it's important to remember that the Imperium's religion is like 100 different cults in a trench coat. That's always true.
Yep.
So you got this galaxy-wide religion that is highly influential on almost every planet. We're talking about 1 million worlds here, so there's a large amount of power in the ecclesiarchy, just in terms of their influence over people. Belief that the emperor is divine is considered a core foundational element of the Imperium these days, and it comes from this group. So who are the Adepta Sororitas with regards to the ecclesiarchy? Well, the ecclesiarchy are the ones who go out and do all the proselytizing and do all the rituals and do all the church stuff. But when it comes time to enforce the doctrines of the church, they need warriors to do that. Therefore, the Adepta Sororitas, the Sisters of Battle, are the enforcement arm, if you will, of the ecclesiarchy. Chime in, Alexis, please.
Sorry, I am trying to fix the super chat problem really quickly and making sure that everyone knows about it. So I was letting you go on a tirade while I mentioned it to our dudes to fix the problem.
Okay, I can keep tirading, no problem. So the Sororitas, they represent, in terms of the tabletop, they represent this giant faction of the Imperium. The ecclesiarchy is kind of represented by them. They're the standard bearers of the ecclesiarchy on the tabletop. Technically they're relatively rare. Like the number of sisters that are active in the galaxy, we don't really know, but it's somewhere between at least 40,000 and up to 100 million.
I did the numbers for this at one point because GW accidentally told us that 40,000 members makes a crusade, and the sisters fight based on crusade numbers. So assuming the correct correlation between sisters and space marines, since they have very similar battle doctrines, there would be an active number of 100 million just sisters of the Order of Our Martyred Lady. They outnumber space marines 10 to 1, but this is GW numbers, which 100 million is actually not that many when you consider they own 1 million planets, and that's 100 sisters per planet.
Yeah, that's reasonable. So, like 100 million is not that crazy a number.
No. Then you times that by 6 for the 6 major orders, assuming they have similar numbers.
So if you ask me, it's 100 million is basically all of the sisters. But I would say at most they're operating with a few 100 million to 100 million. Like it varies based on, because Sisters of Battle tend to have male writing syndrome, where guys tend to write them where they die by the millions. And it's a very big problem in their books, is that sisters tend to die down to one member a lot. They do. Well, martyrdom is actually one of the core elements of the Imperial Creed. The faith of the ecclesiarchy is built on martyrs. So yeah, Sisters of Battle, by the way, Sisters of Battle are known to be the most pious and strict when it comes to the ecclesiarchy.
They're also known to be the most feared warriors as an ally. Because if you're not following their exact doctrines at the time, they will turn on you.
I mean, they can. There have definitely been moments of internecine, I think is, I don't know how to pronounce that, of warfare where the sisters have opened fire on other Imperial groups.
Yeah.
They tend not to do that with certain groups, like, for example, the Space Marines typically do not get attacked by Sisters of Battle, and there's a very special reason why the Adeptus Mechanicus is not typically attacked by the Sisters of Battle, which we will get into.
That's because of their trade agreement.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But generally speaking, if you're talking about like who is the most holy, Sisters of Battle are at the very top. They are generally considered the most pious and the most strict. So you can think of it this way: while Space Marines are sometimes thought of as warrior monks, the emphasis is on the warrior. With the Sisters of Battle, you can think of them as warrior nuns with the emphasis on the nun.
Yeah, depending on the order.
We're being told the super chat works now, by the way.
Yeah, we did it.
All right, great.
Go Sotak.
Do you want to take over for a while and talk about some things? Well,
yeah. So
right.
Sisters of Battle are one of the coolest orders in all of 40k because they, unlike Space Marines, where Space Marines almost strictly operate as shock assault units, the Sisters of Battle do have a standing military, so they can do prolonged war. But again, that really depends on them going, we're going to do a prolonged battle until we lose too many. Then we're just going to let the Imperial Guard take over. It's the Imperial way where there's a hierarchy of elite units. Space Marines are not at the top. It's actually Custodes, then Space Marines, then Sisters, then the Hammer of the Imperium, the Guard. The Guard are the ones that are going to do most of the work, but Sisters of Battle now have the means and the vehicles and the logistics to actually form an entire war if they need to and fund the entire thing because of all the taxation that they do to the people. There's actually huge plots of them taxing entire worlds, and it's really funny, and I love it. And Sisters of Battle are one of the craziest things because they can get their arms blown off, their legs blown off. They're not augmented to the point of like Space Marines, though augmentation does exist amongst the Sisters of Battle. Most of it is cybernetics. A lot of it rarely is drug use a thing in the Sisters, where they use like the stims and everything to get themselves going and everything. But it does happen every now and then, the Repentia especially.
Oh, well, the Repentia, and we could talk about the Mortifiers. There's a lot of them that get either drugged or they get tortured into doing combat stuff, which is, it gets awkward and weird. But it's fine because the Sisters of Battle, they are known to cherish the fleur-de-lis symbol. It's one of the most recognizable symbols of the Sisters of Battle, is the fleur-de-lis. One other thing that inspired me a lot. There's this... if you go to YouTube, there's a group called String Storm. It's a musical group. And they have a song called Adepta Sororitas that is absolutely beautiful. I'm not going to play it for copyright reasons, but if you want to go check it out, I do highly recommend Adepta Sororitas, the song by String Storm. It's very, very cool. And it does kind of inspire me about like their faith and everything like that. But the sisters, they also are the origin of one of the greatest mysteries in the entire setting. What is that mystery, Alexis?
Are we talking the Men-at-Arms or the Power of Faith?
The Power of Faith.
Yeah, Sisters of Battle can just will things into reality using their faith and faith alone. It's actually kind of crazy. Some of them can have even been recorded coming back from the dead in a golden light, fighting until the battle was won, and then dying right afterwards and becoming martyred as a saint. The most iconic one of this is Saint Celestine, who keeps coming back to life.
Yeah, and who is like, you can't, it's inarguably supernatural with Saint Celestine. Like it,
yeah.
A lot of these can be like, well, that's just, somebody saw something and they thought it was one thing, it was actually something else.
When she flies outside of a spaceship through a warp storm, guiding a spaceship through it at faster than light travel. You kind of have to wonder what's going on there.
No one is certain how faith works or what it is for sure, but we know what it isn't. We know it's not psychic powers, for example, and we know that it seems to be connected to worship of the emperor. But it is one of those mysteries that I think it's very unlikely Games Workshop will ever weigh in and say exactly what it is. Although it would make a great bonus stream for us to say what is or what could be faith. How does that work? That'd be a lot of fun to throw some ideas around and maybe come up with some creative ideas of what it might be. But I can tell you, I don't think this is one of those mysteries I don't think will ever be solved.
So what we know about the faith-based powers is that it is soul related, and the more sisters martyr themselves, the stronger their faith becomes. We have an example of this in the Ethriel Stern novels, where all of her sisters died, and now she's seen as one of the most powerful pseudo-psychic entities in the entire galaxy, as stated by what is her name? What is Gilliman's wife's name?
Ivrain.
Ivrain.
Yeah,
Ivrain. Yvraine looked upon Ethereal Stern and was like, "You are insanely powerful," and she had to take a step back from her.
Well, Ephriel Stern is we could do a whole show just on Ephriel Stern, really, because she's she's a Titus-like character in that she started out in a third-party publication, which was a graphic novel, and she was so popular in this comic book that Games Workshop's like, fine, she's canon now. She's actually part of it.
So look at that artwork. That artwork is sick.
Ephriel Stern's rad and deserves her own episode, almost certainly.
And she can go Super Saiyan.
And she can. So the Sisters of Battle, they're organized into two groups, one of which has two steps. They're organized into the militant orders and the non-militant orders. The militant orders are the ones that we see on the tabletop. These are the ones in power armor with bolters, fighting, doing all the fighting stuff. Then there's the non-militant orders, and those are broken down into a lot of different ones. I'll just very quickly talk about some of them. There's the orders Hospitaller, which are surgeons and nurses. There's the
Dialogus.
The order Dialogus, which are all about translation and code breaking, which is really fascinating, actually. There's the orders Famulus, which are like diplomats, and they work with breeding programs amongst the nobility of the Imperium to create like lineages of Imperial heroes. There's the orders Pronatus, which run around and secure and find holy relics of the Imperium. And two of my teeny tiny favorites. There's the Sisters Sabine, the Order Sabine. They're basically the Bene Gesserit of Dune, because they go to regressive or primitive worlds and spread prophecies of the Imperium's arrival. And then there's the Sisters Tarantine, the Orders Tarantine, which is basically the oracles of Delphi, because there's a region of space with this gas floating in it, and they study that gas and like interpret its motions as the future. It's very strange.
Sure.
Why not? So those are the non-militant orders. When it comes to the militant orders, again, these are the ones with the power armor, the bolters. They're broken down into two sections. There's the
Sorry,
orders.
I got an eyelash that's like stuck in my eye right now. That's been driving me bananas.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I hate it when that happens.
Continue.
So the militant orders are broken down to the orders majoris, which are there 6, and we'll talk about why there are 6. And then the orders minoris, which we don't know how many there are.
There's a lot.
There's at least dozens, if not hundreds, of minor convents, shrines, sects, groups, splinters of the Sisters of Battle. So, do you want to? We should mention that we have a giveaway going today.
Oh, yes, we do.
I'm going to start this up. I'm going to start this up.
We're giving away Space Marine Scouts today.
Yes, a kill team box of Space Marine Scouts. So if you go into the chat and type in
strictly YouTube.
Sorry, YouTube only, right? Is that correct?
Yes, I believe that's correct.
So for YouTube only, it's !Scout. I think it might be capital S Scout. But if you type that in, that should enter you into the giveaway. 1 entry per person. Do not spam it. You will get in trouble. Don't do that.
Instantaneous trouble. We'll send the Sisters of Battle after you.
Right. Grim Isaac figured it out. Yep. Perfect. We got entries. Okay. Great. People are doing it. Hooray. So our first giveaway is underway. That's one thing I need to make sure we got done.
So real quick, we'll just cut away to some super chats really fast. We only have 4.
Stephen Lucas, 8836.
Pointed out that the super chats are working.
Yay, super chats are working. Druzina, Quisian? And
I think so.
I thought Sisters of Silence were 1-to-1 with Custodes. They are not. They're definitely not.
I would argue that they are. But
they are not. They are absolutely 150% not 1-to-1. I can tell you, I could answer that very easily. Do you know how many Custodians there are?
1,000.
No, 10,000.
Oh yeah, the 10,000, yeah.
And the 10,000 only. But do you know how many nulls there are?
Currently, not that many.
True, but given 1 million worlds with populations in the trillions, there's so many more nulls than 10,000.
So the reason that I say they're 1-to-1 is because a custody only works great when there's a Sister of Silence with them protecting them.
Custodians are great in any circumstance. They are great by
Yeah, but
themselves. They are literally better by themselves than they are with a team, actually. That's the way that they're designed to fight. They're designed to fight as individuals. This is how they're separate from the legions of Space Marines. Space Marines fight as squads or as teams. Custodians are individual warriors.
In Aaron Densky Bowden's books, he writes specifically that the Sisters of Silence work almost in tandem with them.
They do.
And
They do
I
that.
love the way that they fight, where the custodian is fighting and the sister is fighting between them and around them. And
they
but
do.
without the Sisters of Silence help, custodians are weak to like magics and shit like that.
Well, no more
where Sisters of Silence are weak against like GW being sexist writers and making women weaker than men.
Listen, custodians are no more weak to psychic abilities than any other Space Marine. They are just fine for the majority of minor stuff. But Sisters of Silence, to be clear, one of the reasons why there's definitely more Sisters of Silence than custodians. Take a wild guess who crews all the League of Black ships.
Oh no, I think what they meant is that they're 1-to-1, like they're in the same tier.
They are in the same tier, but that's
the Talons of the Emperor.
The Talons of the Emperor are on the same tier. That's true. But again, there's way more Sisters of Silence than there are custodians.
And it's been written that Sisters of Silence could kill Space Marines very easily.
Yeah, I mean, they can. They're Sisters of Silence, when it comes to unaugmented humans, Sisters of Silence are probably the strongest fighters in that category.
In the actual Horus Heresy game, they're Strength 5, Initiative 5, and they kill Marines real quick.
Well, they can.
I love them.
Can. But it's important to note that they are unaugmented other than their armor, stuff like that.
That's a weird one too, because they do the whole selective breeding thing now, where they are now 7.5 foot tall, and they're insanely fast.
Custodians are 7 feet tall. That's not Sisters.
No, custodians are like 8 to 9 foot tall. They're
armor.
Much bigger.
In armor, yes, that is true. But outside of armor,
Sisters of Silence stand shoulder to shoulder with Space Marines.
No,
in artwork, yeah, they do.
That's not true. They do not.
I can bring up the artwork for that.
No, I have seen all the Horus Heresy artwork. I know with Sisters of Silence in it. Scutari Boy here says, "Thank you for your supporting us, Scutari Boy. Things are always improved by big, strong women capable of killing me. I mean, most people with very little effort." Well, you're actually on the mark when you're talking about Sisters of Battle, because they are elite warriors. They if you compare a Sister of Battle to, say, an Imperial Guardsman from the Astra Militarum, the training that an Astra Militarum Guardsman gets is very light compared to the amount of martial skill and martial training that Sisters of Battle get. They are elite warriors. They're almost on par with Space Marines when it comes to like accuracy in terms of ranged fire, and some of their guys are exceptional hand warriors as well. So very good point. What else have we got for super chats?
Yep. Let's see. We got this one.
All right, Stephen Lucas 8836. How much Sororitas power armor in vehicles made and fixed by tech priests versus minor heretic modification by church artisans? Wow. Okay. With many Moire prophecies coming true, will Rise and Moirean tech priests joining ecclesiarchy soon? Okay, there's a lot to break down here. First of all, thanks for supporting us. Really appreciate it. So all Sororitas power armor vehicles do receive modification by church artisans. They all have emblems of their faith or scriptures from the Fide Imperialis, which is the battle hymn of the Sisters of Battle. They put that onto their armor. Sometimes it is reliquaries bearing fingers of saints and things like that. The tech priests do not care about this, and we will talk about that in a little bit, about why they don't care. The Moire prophecies, is this something you're familiar with, Alexis?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the Moire prophecies.
I do know about like Sisters of Battle having specialized tech priests that follow them around that are more religious than other tech priests. And the dialogists tend to be the ones that can repair vehicles on occasion. But that's extremely rare. And I think that's more of a throwaway in a white dwarf than anything else.
Yeah, by and large in the Imperium, like 90% of the time, if you're working on a vehicle or working on technology, it's a tech priest. Or a version of a tech
the guard.
or the guard have engine seers. The engine seers.
The guard do, but one of my favorite lines in all of the guard is, "Yeah, we know all this stuff. Just don't let the higher ups know about it." Because like the guard will repair their own vehicles in the field, and then just be like, we just had faith, just get it going.
Unfortunately, Stephen Lucas, I can't answer the Moray prophecies part. I'm sorry. Let's go to the next one.
I do wish there was more explained into Sororitas tech priests. Like, I do wish we had a tech priest that was a sister of battle.
That would be awesome. That would be really cool.
That is such a clashing of faiths that it doesn't really. This is the one problem with Sisters of Battle and the lack of customization that you could do to Sisters of Battle versus like Space Marines, where Space Marines, they could be any faith, anything. They could be atheists if they really want to. Sisters of Battle can't. They kind of are what they are.
Nearly all Space Marines, to be clear, nearly all Space Marines are in fact atheists.
Yeah.
But the awkward, I mean, what you're describing though is similar to the awkwardness of a Black Templar tech marine, because he would be balancing two faiths.
Yeah, I want a new unit for Sisters of Battle that is just a tech adept. Like, they let the novitiate go, and then when she comes back, they brainwash her again with the ecclesiarchy, and then they're just like, yeah, you're fine now.
It would be interesting to see a version of Tech Priest. Gary Garionson, hey, we see a lot of these names pop up. We're really grateful for y'all's support, man. You guys kick ass. Have you read Requiem Infernal from Fehervari? I do not know what that is. What is that?
Requiem Inferno is amazing. It's a book series. It's really good.
Is it a Black Library novels?
Yeah. If it's yes, I think. Sorry, there's like 500 books with Inferno in its name. I think, Requiem Inferno is the novel. And then there's the Inferno comics, and then there's the Inferno short stories. But Requiem Inferno is actually insanely good.
Yeah, that's from 2019. Okay, I have not read that. I need to pick that up. But thanks for reminding us about that one. What's the next one we got here? Elemental Exposure, 3730. Alexis, I want to get into tabletop, but I can't a barn red. I assume paint a barn red. If I buy the minis, then what would you say is fair rate to pay a U.S. painter to paint them?
Okay, you see this, it depends how you want them painted. It really depends. If you want them tabletop ready, expect to pay what the unit costs you. So if something costs you 8,495 kroner, which is roughly equivalent to like 75-80 USD, expect to pay like $80 to get it painted. But I highly recommend that you look into just very simple paint schemes using using contrast paints. You can get through an entire Sister of Battle army really quickly with just some contrast paints or speed paints from Army Painter. So, and you can talk to people at your local game store to see if they can get you a deal on painting just to keep them up to a tabletop quality. So it really depends.
Most reputable painters offer different levels of paint. Usually the cheapest is the tabletop ready, which is really all you need, frankly. Scutari Boy's back. Welcome, Scutari Boy. Shouldn't exceptionally zealous Admech members also do miracles like Sisters of Battle from time to time? Does this occur in any media? Okay, Alexis, you're going to have to elaborate on this one.
Okay, there is a mechanical saint, and I can't remember the exact... I'd have to talk to Victor about this because he knows the sainthood of the Admech really well. And it's like a special thing that they have. Machine touched. That's what they're called. And it's really weird.
Yeah, wow. From the Gathering Storm, we have a character called Curia, which is a figure from ancient Martian data lore who
Yep.
reportedly glowed with cleansing light and has since become the patron saint of Adeptus Mechanicus, Radsmiths, and Biologus Eradicati. So this is a
Rad as hell.
It's a saint of radiation, which is kind of awesome. Yeah, so there's in lore it is mentioned. Oh, sorry, don't go away from that one yet. So in lore, it's mentioned that they believe these things to be true and that they exist, but they're typically legends. And it's important to remember that the Adeptus Mechanicus does not technically worship the Emperor; they worship the Omnissiah, whom they believe the Emperor is an avatar of the Omnissiah. So the miracles that the Sisters of Battle get come directly from the Emperor. Anything that the Mechanicus would have would be granted by some other being, because it seems fairly obvious that the Emperor is not actually the Omnissiah. He just presented himself that way to the
yeah. There's like 3 different machine gods that you could worship.
So interesting
Emperor,
point though.
The Satan on Mars, or the what's his name, Vashtor the Stampede.
All right, Itachi Hero 666. Sisters, one of my favorite factions, mine too, and one of Alexis's. I have to watch the VOD, but I had a cute idea for a Wednesday stream with ANS, a Chaos Lord versus 40K, or Fan Much Love. I don't understand the ANS part.
Yeah, that would have to be explained. I'm sure they'll write another comment to explain it.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Itachi Hero. It's probably a great idea though. Biofoot 7874 says, what would the sisters do if they found a fishman? Well, he'd be a dirty Xenos. He'd be a dirty Xenos, and they'd probably kill him.
If it was an abhuman, they wouldn't hesitate and they would kill it.
They don't like mutants. That's true. We're going to get into that as well.
They will tolerate Ogrins because they're a part of guard regiments, but they do look down on them.
Indeed. The Exiled One, 8002. Thank you, sir. Woo, sisters. That's what I also say. I always love the matchup whenever they square up with the Wordbearers. There's a lot to unpack there, too, because the Lorgar is actually the creator of the Imperial Creed in a weird way. The Divinatio, Lexicon Divinatio? I forget what it's called. The book that started... The first book that started.
Oh my God! You said it. Now it's gone from my brain.
Lectitio, I think it's a Lectitio.
Lectitio Divinitatis.
Divinatus, yeah. The Lectitio Divinatus was written by Lorgar, who's the Primarch of the Wordbearers. But the Wordbearers are now so corrupted that they just absolutely fight sisters to the death, just
now,
like the sisters fight them to the death.
What version of it that they have? Because when Gilliman read it, he was like, "This is Lorgar's work." But he didn't say it was corrupted. So I think they have an earlier version of it when they thought the Emperor was a god.
Well, the version that made its way to Terra is, according to legend, is the one that Lorgar wrote prior to Monarchia. So it was about the Emperor.
Yeah. And then I think Garrow carries one for a very long time.
Probably Loken.
Yeah.
Actually. Anyway,
I know he gives it to somebody. That's like a big thing in the books.
Oh, I'm pretty sure what he gave it to Euphrates Keeler, who is the first. She's like the first
living saint.
Whether she's a living saint or not is up to question.
She turned Garrow into a Super Saiyan, and he fought Mortarion to a standstill until he almost killed Mortarion and died in the process. If that's not sainthood, I don't know what is.
I mean, she's pretty awesome. I mean, we can all agree on that. Hieronymus, thank you, Hieronymus. Sister Technician, our organ guns fire missiles because we believe in Big E. It even fires when we are out of missiles. That can be a miracle. It's one of those weird things.
Yes. So the Sisters of Battle don't exactly know how they're... The Sisters of Battle have 3 different exorcists, okay? There's one that looks just like the Whirlwind, one that has a circular missile tubes that is just a missile launcher, and then the more famous one is the organ gun.
Yeah, because it looks like a church organ that they're playing and the missiles fire up out of the pipes. Currently,
the current lore is that they use the organ gun, and they are not entirely sure how it works or how many missiles to shoot. So they just play really hard and hope for the best. And it kind of almost always works.
Scallywag 11. Thank you, Scallywag 11. How do you feel about Sister Argento from Rogue Trader? That's the Rogue Trader.
I love her.
She's great.
Love her.
Agreed.
She is such a jerk, and I absolutely love her.
So actually, this would be a good point to mention that Argenta is a very, how do I put this without sounding bad? She's a great example of a Sister of Battle. She has the right haircut, the right tattoo. Sisters of Battle generally have a page boy haircut. They generally have a fleur-de-lis tattoo somewhere on their cheek.
I hate it so much.
I didn't come up with this. It's just the way that they are portrayed. They generally have a scar or something, sometimes a bionic eye. Sisters are, but they almost, this is like their uniform, right? It's like, you never see a sister who doesn't have a page boy haircut. You never see a sister who, well, you do see a bald one. That's true.
I mean, there's multiple different varieties of sisters. Martyred Lady are typically the ones that all have the bob cut that's white. And it is part of them becoming a Sister of Battle. One of the first things that they get is the white hair. And then they earn their armor through deed. Then they earn the rights to their helmet. That's why so many sisters running around without a helmet. Then they earn a right to wear more flourish on their armor. Then they earn the right to a better weapon. And then they get assigned to different
squads.
Yeah, doing different tasks of what they excel at.
So the origins of the Sisters of Battle is probably one of my favorite bits.
It needs to stay the way it's written because it exposes the satire that is 40K. It needs to stay this way.
I'm very excited to hear your take on this. But I will start by saying the Sisters of Battle were born out of a period called the Age of Apostasy. This is around the 37th millennium, so about roughly 3,000 years before the current date in 40K.
This was what? How many years before the Beast arises?
Okay, the Beast was right after the Horus Heresy, so that's way in the past.
Yeah, so that's already happened.
Yeah.
And then the sisters get formed.
Well, this is about 3,000 years before current era is where we are. And in the Age of Apostasy, the ecclesiarch, which is the head of the ecclesiarchy, is a guy called the ecclesiarch. The ecclesiarch is always a High Lord of Terra because that's how much power they wield. They were just able to be like, yeah, I'm strong enough to be a High Lord of Terra.
Look at me, I am High Lord now.
Right, but this guy, this particular ecclesiarch, said, you know what? I'm not just going to be the ecclesiarch. I'm also going to be the High Lord of the administratum. And the administratum is basically the entire bureaucracy of the Imperium. It's all the record keepers. It's all the scriveners. It's all the, anybody who makes laws, writes things down, or has to deal with keeping records of any kind is part of the administratum. So this guy was insanely powerful. He had all the Imperium's military minus the Space Marines in the palm of his hand. And this turned out to be a very, very bad idea, which led to a massive amount of suffering galaxy-wide for centuries. And this guy who did this was a guy called Goge vandire. Rush 2129, Doge vandire. Sarcastically.
I saw that and it made me chuckle. And
it was funny.
We're living through Doge vandire right now.
Oof. So Goge vandire, when he took over and did this, it became known as the Reign of Blood. And why was it called the Reign of Blood, Alexis?
Because it killed everything in their path to get what he wanted. Like, it was insane because originally he just had a militia, and then it grew to an army, and then it grew to, because he had so much power and so much wealth, he was equipping these soldiers with like tech that Space Marines have. He was going crazy with them. And then he ran into the Sisters of Battle.
Well, okay.
The brides of the Emperor.
The daughters of the Emperor, actually.
Daughters.
So Goge vandire, the Reign of Blood, why it's called the Reign of Blood, he performed these horrific atrocities against anyone who spoke out against his rule or spoke out against anything he was doing. He said, well, if you oppose me, you are a heretic, and the price of heresy is death. So he would do things like melt the polar ice caps from orbit and drown everyone on a planet,
Yep.
or just
Did
bathe in blood.
Did he ever kill any Space Marines?
Probably.
This has been a running question of mine for the longest time, is that we know that most of the Space Marines stayed on the outskirts of this, but there had to be, like, the Imperial Fist must have gotten involved.
I mean, you wonder. The Age of Apostasy is one of those areas. This and the Nova Terra Interregnum are two of the most mysterious. There's a lot of like blank space there that I would love
once
to know more.
the Age of Strife is over, not the Age of Strife. It's the Age of Strife right after the Heresy. No, it's
Age of Strife is pre-Heresy.
Yeah, it is. What's the series right after the Heresy? It's the Cleanup.
The Scouring.
The Scouring. Thank you. My brain was just flipping those for some reason. But once the Scouring is over, I really hope they actually skip over the Beast of Rises and just make that not canon, because that whole story is dumb. And just go straight to the Sisters of Battle and actually talk about all this, because I want to see these crazy armies that he had.
I should also, for anybody who's just joining us or didn't find the first part, we are doing a giveaway today of a kill team of scouts. So if you want to type into the YouTube chat ! capital S scouts,
you can enter for a chance to win.
You can enter for a chance to win, and that is we will close that down about 20 minutes before we
I think we're doing it's also US only, if I remember.
And it's one entry per person.
Yep.
Okay. So we have Goj Vandire, we have the Rain of Blood. It's awful. And then he decides to visit this little agri world, this little pastoral world called San Lior. And what does he find on San Lior?
The brides of the Emperor.
The daughters of the Emperor.
Daughters of the Emperor. Sorry, I keep calling them brides. But these girls are insane, and they're entirely devoted to the Emperor himself. He's like, ooh, this is a whole army I could use.
So at the time, it was a small and isolated cult of all women warriors. They had a very strong martial skills, martial training, but they were also super devoted to worshiping the Emperor. And this little cult called the Daughters of the Emperor, for some reason, we're not sure. I mean, it's easy to fill in the blanks. Goj Vandire was like, oh wow, look at all these hot women. It's a harem just waiting to happen, really. Goj Vandire changed their name from the Daughters of the Emperor to the Brides of the Emperor.
Yeah.
So that's where that comes from. And he makes them his bodyguard. But how does he convince them that Goj Vandire has the power of the Emperor?
So he has I forget which force field he has. I think he has the Rosarius, and he orders one of the sisters to shoot him.
Right, because this is a little agri world, and they are very technologically ignorant. The Rosarius generates a thing called the conversion field. Whenever you attack it, it converts all that energy into light. So it
would also mean that it would actually explode into nuclear and would cause a mass reaction.
Don't think about it too hard.
All the energy on the planet.
Don't think about it too hard.
Just like when GW said a power sword cuts an atom.
So I think there are different versions of this meeting. The one I remember the most, I think he ordered his own bodyguard to shoot him. But it might have been one of the sisters.
Yeah, anyway. I know somebody shot him, and he said, "My faith in the Emperor will protect me."
Right, which of course it wasn't his faith; it was the force field amulet he was wearing.
It'd be really funny if he failed that 4-up invo save. He just died right there.
So through chicanery and deceit, Goj Vandire convinces the Daughters of the Emperor that he has the true favor of the God Emperor, and they should all join him. And he makes them his bodyguards, his elite bodyguards, and names them the Brides of the Emperor. But eventually, all of Vandire's bullshit catches up to him.
What?
I know. There's a whole lot we're skipping over, to be really clear. But essentially, a schism formed within the ecclesiarchy, and a guy called Sebastian Thor rose up to sort of oppose Vandire and claim that Vandire was, not actually holy. Anyway, Vandire made a bunch of enemies. His reign of blood was extremely unpopular, And it got to the point where all of Vandire's enemies were besieging the ecclesiastical palace on Terra, which is a big deal. I want to be really clear. This is a major deal.
Are you telling me that the Sisters of Battle, along with an Imperial army, successfully sieged Terra?
No, they defended a siege on Terra.
But Horus couldn't siege. I'm joking.
Well,
there's a long-running joke in the fandom that the Sisters of Battle were incredibly successful, where the Space Marines failed, and it's just a hilarious thing. Like, the Sisters did it, but the Space Marines couldn't.
Yeah.
Scoreboard.
So Vandire he's descending into madness at this point. He's talking to himself. He's talking to like chairs. He's making up entire groups that he then orders to be killed and beheaded and turned into martyrs because they opposed him. He's full on deteriorating in front of everybody's eyes. But the sisters, they have sworn, and they take this oath very seriously to defend Vandire. And there's 6 of them. These 6 most strongest or most devout of the sisters were his inner circle. They were the ones who directly protected his body. But what should happen but a custodes? And stories vary. Sometimes in 9th edition, they suggested that maybe the custodians infiltrated the ecclesiastical palace. Other stories say the custodians just denounced Vandire. We're not sure. The latest codex, the 10th edition, says that the custodians like straight up went to the 6 sisters and said, "You need to come with us."
I like the story where they tell the sisters to come and see the emperor.
Well,
okay, hold on. Dad needs to talk to you, girls. Come on.
The thing here is that they could even the custodians couldn't convince the individual sisters to stand down.
Yeah.
Like, their faith was too strong. So the custodians are like, cool, well, we know somebody who you will listen to. And they take these 6 sisters and they bring them through secret passages and ways across Terra into the Golden Throne. One by one.
I'm telling my dad.
One by one, each of these 6 women went before the emperor. And we don't know what happened. They were alone. All we know is they were alone with the emperor.
I like to think of this scene as the same as in when Gilliman went to and talked to the emperor when he came back to life, and where it was like 100 voices at once, and like you kind of pick and choose what you gathered from it, but where the emperor was like, "You are a tool, you are useless. Why did it have to be you? It always has to be you, my favored son." And all of that, where it's like all of this contradiction just blasted at him all at once. But the weirdest part of this is that the sisters stood before the emperor and lived. Like, that's the crazier part to me, is that they witnessed the godlike power of the emperor and were just like, okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, the Order of the Martyred Lady is one of the biggest orders the sisters have, and they all have white hair. Micah says that's where the white hair thing comes from. I believe there is some lore saying that when they came out, it's old lore, but there's some old lore saying that when the sisters returned from meeting the emperor, their hair was white. At any rate, we're not exactly sure what went on, but we do know for sure what happened after they left the emperor's throne room. These 6 women got together and said, "We absolutely, unequivocally believe that Goj Vandire is an apostate. He's a heretic. He does not have the favor of the God Emperor." And Alicia Dominica, which was the most senior of these 6, she walks up to Goj Vandire while he's in the middle of pronouncing judgment on another imaginary group of enemies, and she just cuts his head off, which puts an end to the Reign of Blood.
Now, what's crazy is he didn't make his 4-up invo save right there.
So Reign of Blood is over, right? Sebastian Thor, remember, that's the other guy who was leading the ecclesiarchy. He comes in and he creates this big reformation of the ecclesiarchy. And one of the first things he does is, we're not going to have standing armies anymore, guys. We're not going to have fleets of ships and guard
very specifically, he says no men at arms.
Well, okay, that's old lore, but yes, in the older lore, it is said that his decree very clearly says that the ecclesiarchy may have no men under arms. The newer lore says he just gave an exception to the sisters because the ecclesiarchy needs enforcers.
So, meh. I like to think of that in the same way that it's one of the few times I will praise a Gav Thor book. I love this book. It's one of my favorites. But in Our Martyred Lady, they actually explain it from Draxus. It's not Draxus. It's Greyfax. Greyfax is the one that states that she witnessed the signing. It's because she's over 6,000 years old. She got trapped by Trazine, had mind scarabs, kept in stasis, and then released back into the 40K universe. But she keeps the seal on Terra that says no men under arms and makes sure it stays that way, because in that book they try to take that limitation off so that the ecclesiarchy can have an army again to fight against the forces of chaos and everything. And she's just like, no, you can't.
So there's very good reasons for that, but
yes, this rules as written versus rules as intended.
Yes. So that is a great piece of lore, and I do love the idea that Sebastian Thor wrote down no men under arms, and everybody was like, great, so women are fine.
I always imagine that both are true at the same time, and an inquisitor at some point went through it and was just like, yeah, let's just go ahead and get rid of that.
Well, the Inquisition does keep a close eye on the ecclesiarchy, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But this decree, this statement that Sebastian Thor made to reform the ecclesiarchy became known as the decree passive. And under the decree passive, the only army that the ecclesiarchy may have are the Sisters of Battle, the Adepta Sororitas. And even then, the Adepta Sororitas cannot function as a single unified group. They had to be broken into different orders. Originally, there were 4 orders majoris, and two more orders majoris came along later. Each of these 6 orders majoris are inspired by one of the 6 original women of the Sisters of Battle. Those are now called the matriarchs.
Yep.
So anyway, this is a long story to get around to, and now we have Sisters of Battle.
Which must have been super awkward for the ride home when they passed by like the Marines and everything that they destroyed. And they're like, oh, sorry guys. Sorry, our bad. Emperor said that it was, oops.
It's really important to remember the ecclesiarchy is stupidly powerful in the Imperium. They are so influential. And even the Primarch, Rebute Guilliman, he cannot ignore the ecclesiarchy as much as he'd like to. He cannot.
One of my favorite passages about the ecclesiarchy is that he flat out said, while I can't remove it, I have to try to slowly make revisions to their beliefs.
Yeah, but he's the most powerful man in the Imperium, and even he is like, I can't just stop this. It has to. That's how strong they are. That's my point. Is that they're very, very strong.
He also acknowledges the fact that they're like an insanely powerful military.
Well, they're just insanely powerful in general.
Yeah.
There are entire worlds that are called cardinal worlds or shrine worlds. There are entire planets that are nothing but cemeteries for the most holy of saints. Yep. So yeah, the ecclesiarchy is really, it's everywhere. It's in every aspect of the only people who are free from the ecclesiarchy are the Space Marines, and even then, that's only most of them and not all of them.
Except for that one time the ecclesiarchy tried to go to Fenris.
I mean, that did happen. So the ecclesiarchy and the Sisters of Battle together, their new focus is that they safeguard the Imperium from these threats: the mutant, the witch, and the heretic. That's where they focus their efforts. This is not to say they won't fight Xenos. They absolutely will. This is not to say they won't fight Chaos. They absolutely will. But their main area of expertise is mutants, witchcraft, and heresy.
Yep. In fact, one of their prominent pieces of Wargear is a null rod.
Oh, we're going to talk about their Wargear
Yeah.
for sure.
It's just, hang on, bonk, and the Psyker's dead. All right.
Do we have more super chats to read?
Yes, of course. Let's get into those, but I got to figure out where I stopped. Let's see. We did the Fishman. Was it this one?
Hieronymus. We did that one. Yeah.
Okay.
Scallyway, we did that one.
Yep. Okay.
Here we go. Stephen Lucas, 8836. Concurrent with Nova Terra Interregnum. Oh my God, we're going to have to talk about that. Moraria Schism. Forge World Red Astronomicon. Retcon predicted the Great Rift. And Mechanicus will fuse with the ecclesiarchy. Backstory of Sons of Medusa. I'll have to look into that. I'll have to look into that, but that's what, if it has to do with the Nova Terra Interregnum, I just want to warn you, that is one of those big, murky areas of 40k lore. There's just not very much known about it.
Yeah, isn't that the whole like create your own lore section of Warhammer where they're just like, here's
sort of,
this,
sort of,
and we're never gonna touch it again.
It was a period where there were multiple emperors.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
It's strange, but anyway, yes, good point. Thank you for pointing that out, Stephen Lucas, and we will definitely talk about the Nova Terra Interregnum at some point. The Moraria Schism, I'm going to put that on my radar. Thanks for mentioning that. It's now on my radar. I'll have to look into that some more. It's Hachihiro 666. Oh, ANS. That's where that
Andy and Sotek.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yes.
Oh yeah, we still have to do the second part of Fantasy versus 40k.
Oh, we sure do. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We need to activate our Wonder Twin powers and hook up with Andy and Sotek and get all four of us on screen. That would be really, really, really cool. Leader 2457. Thank you, sir. That's very helpful. For explanation, the Moire were a radical sect from the Forge World Moire who believe the fluctuations in the Astronomicon are messages or prophecy from the Omnissiah God Emperor, and they believe in a fusion of the Mechanicus ecclesiarchy into one. Okay. Well, sure.
This is a great way to get Sisters of Battle that are tech priests.
So you remember how I said the ecclesiarchy is 100 cults in a trench coat? The cult Omnissiah, which is what the term is for the belief of the Omnissiah, is the same fucking way. It is also 100 different cults in a trench coat. Yeah. So the Moire are one of these radical sects, and they exist. Like there's tons of radical sects. There's radical sects for all kinds.
I mean, there's multiple radical sects on Mars.
Yeah, not
like just on Mars.
Yeah, not even outside of Mars. That's true. But yeah, good point. Again, thanks for pointing that out. Lord Vorn says, sisters are a good personification of zealotry and the dangers that can come from it. Like the sister that murdered Ultramarines in Dark Imperium.
Yes. They will kill their allies. They will kill everything in their path if they don't see it as what the Emperor wills.
So this might be a good place for you to talk about that satire element.
Yeah, Sisters of Battle are the perfect satire for 40k because it shows religious zealotry to its extreme. I always viewed them as like sort of like Catholics because that's where their influence is from, like the Jesus fandom. Insert random religion here that believes in Jesus. But their whole thing is that it's taken that to 11, where if anything is written even slightly incorrect and a Space Marine disagrees, they will turn their guns on the Space Marine if it's deemed heretical by their canonesses or their dogmatas.
Well, so a smart canoness will never let it get that far because...
But a dogmata is stupid.
Dogmata might do that for sure. We'll talk about the Sisters Dogmata.
But the Sisters of Battle are just crazy radicals to the point of you cannot reason with them. That was their whole lore, that you cannot reason with them, so they took them to the Emperor because that was the only person who could reason with them. And even that gave them superpowers.
Caiaphas Cain in his books makes multiple mention that he really dislikes the idea of fighting alongside the sisters because to them tactics and strategy come second to zealotry and religion. And he's like, if we ask them to hold the left flank, they might, if they believe it's the will of the Emperor, but they also might just run screaming at the enemy and your whole left flank is exposed. Now what?
Yeah. There's also the whole thing of their stealth units sing hymns really loudly.
Oh, the Zephyrum?
Yeah.
Are they stealth units? No.
They are reconnaissance units. But I'm talking about I'm talking about their stealth units, the novitiate units that go out and do the scouting for them. They will just sing hymnals while going there. So it's like, hide, but they don't do that. They will just stand there and gun you down. And if you blow off their arm, they won't care because their devotion to the emperor is more extreme than the pain they're feeling. And they'll just pick up their gun one-handed and be like, okay, bang, 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 bang.
I do have to pull up one comment here. Elemental Exposure 3730 says, knowing you're saying radical sects and hearing Slaneshi voice giggles about the homonyms. The homonyms are strong. That's true.
Look, I am trying to hide my Slaneshiness for this video.
Go check out the Robot Chicken homonym song if you want to have some fun with that. One. All right. So Druzina Quishin. Oh, thank you. I love it when somebody tells me how to pronounce it. I want The Exorcist to exist and play the Phantom of the Opera. Oh, that would be good. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, that'd be great.
Could you imagine what a battlefield for the Sisters of Battle must sound like?
With the hymns and the organs. Oh, my Lord.
And the bolters firing in rhythm. It must sound amazing. I would not want to be there because they would just either recruit me or kill me, or they would throw a gun at me and be like, go to the front line, and I'd die because I can't survive 40K. No one can.
40K is one of the worst fictional universes to wake up in. It really is. It's like, oh God, where am I? Oh God.
What is it? The joke is that you think you'll be a space marine, you're actually just a door.
or a forklift.
Yeah.
Leader 2457 forgot the Moire schism happened during the Nova Terra Interregnum. The world was destroyed by the rest of the Mechanicum, and they are now underground. That makes perfect sense. Absolutely perfect sense. Thanks for we have learned a lot about the Moire schism on a show about the Sisters of Battle. That's kind of wild. Scutari boy, the Mechanicus is also free from them. Who's them?
I assume the Sisters of Battle. And technically
they're not actually.
Yeah, they have a trade deal and not a ceasefire, but they have a trade deal with them.
It's a very important treaty, and we will talk about that. Yep. Is there more?
Yes, there's one more.
The Red Magma 1 says, thank you very much, sir, by the way. I actually like Sisters of Battle having more success than Horus's attempt. Yes. Not only is it after the Primarchs have left and cannot defend Terra, but shows how chaos in the Imperium can be crumped by one unified voice or force.
Yes. It's why I absolutely love the Sisters of Battle beating Terra. Because it isn't a full-out war. We never know what actually happened. It's just a blurb that bypasses all lore for like explaining how they sieged Terra. They're just like, they did it. It was done. And it's like, I want it explained properly, but the fact that the Sisters did win where the Space Marines lost is always a hilarious thing to me. Keep in mind, I'm just poking fun at it.
Scutari Boy did clarify, by them, he meant the ecclesiarchy's influence. So saying that the Space Marines are largely free of the so the Mechanicum is also largely free. Yes, good point. They are largely left alone by the ecclesiarchy, and there's very good reasons for that. Okie doke. Oh, I like this one too. Survivor says 40K Sisters
reading that one.
Hymnals and battlefield ambiance to hold the line or fall asleep too. That's great. There's a lot of videos like that.
I love it.
So we've talked about
we got past the origins of the Sisters.
We finally got past the origins. Do we want to jump down to their gear and stuff like that? Because we have been
I think we have to first talk about how they get their gear, and we do need to talk about their trade deal with Mars, because we've been mentioning it quite a bit and why the two forces don't fight. Yeah. So I think right now is the perfect time.
So the Sisters of Battle are the only other force besides the Space Marines in the Imperium to field power armor and use bolt weapons as standard issue. This is a big deal.
This eyelash won't go away.
Oh my God. Are you okay? Do you need to take a break?
No, I'm good. It's just I'm going to blink a lot.
So how do the Sisters of Battle have this really great advanced gear? So the Forge Worlds are happy to give Sisters this stuff for a number of reasons. First of all, the Sisters have fought to defend Forge Worlds or even reclaim Forge Worlds from chaos. But it's really about this treaty that was signed during the Reformation. The tech priests of Mars are no fools. They saw the power of the ecclesiarchy on full display, and they're like, okay, we are not worshipers of the same God. And these guys just burned, 1,000 worlds. That's bad. That's really bad.
And successfully sieged Terra.
Well,
it's glossed over, but they made it into Terra. They made it to the Golden Throne, which is way further than Horus ever did.
So the tech priests came up with this deal that they offered the Sisters of Battle. It's called the Writ Illuminat, and this treaty says it's sort of an alliance, if you will, where the tech priests of Mars will give the sisters all the power armor and bolters and meltas and flamers and power suits that they want, and in return, the sisters and the ecclesiarchy at large agree to leave the Mechanicus alone when it comes to the problems of faith. It avoids conflicts between their differing beliefs. It's a really smart move on behalf of the Mechanicus. All they have to do is make some extra power armor and guns, ship them to the ecclesiarchy, and in return they can be like, you know what? I worship a different god than you. He's not the boss of me. The God Emperor is not the boss of me. The Omnissiah is the boss of me, who is also technically the God Emperor. So that's kind of a big deal. It's important to point out that their power armor, Sisters' power armor, is not the same. It's similar to Space Marine power armor, but it is not the same. In general, there's a lot of auxiliary systems that require Space Marine's enhanced physique to function, and the Sisters just don't have that. So there's a reason why a lot of Sisters don't wear helmets. Their auto senses are not nearly as sharp as the Space Marine's auto senses, et cetera, et cetera.
They have to earn sometimes.
Sometimes they have to earn. Yeah, there's a meme about earning your helmet. I was there when that. Just do not speak to me the old magic. I was there when it was first laid down. Mornington Crescent points out their power armor has heels. In a lot of artwork, the power armor does in fact have heels, and the breastplate looks like a corset.
I have been digging through the Sister of Battle artwork for a solid few years at this point. There is not that many heels. They have platforms, but they do not have heels. Only one has heels. And that's, the Rogue Trader artwork. But a lot of them just have platforms. And this is a very girly thing. Platforms are not heels. And a lot of the Sister Battle boots are still flat at the bottom, and then they come up like this. So it's not a heel, but it's a boot.
I'm going to share the first image of the Sisters of Battle, which of course is drawn by John Blanche. We've talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, that's Valeria.
And
she has heels.
Big time heels.
Yeah. But most Sisters of Battle don't anymore, and haven't for a very long time.
Well, there are many Sisters models with heels. I mean, it's not unfair to point out that they do a lot have often. And again, the breastplate is modeled after a corset. These are incontrovertible facts.
Yeah, it is a corset without a doubt. But the Sister of Battle miniatures don't have heels. They have platforms. And the Sisters of Battle original miniatures, the metal ones, they didn't have heels either. They just had platforms because GW couldn't design heels at the time. They tried. They really did try to give the Sister of Battle heels, but their tech was so limited at the time they couldn't. So they have platform boots. It's more like a shoe, which is weird. I have a whole gripe with the Sister of Battle lower leg because I have the armor and everything, and it's really irritating that their lower leg artists just forget to flourish or anything. So it just ends, and it just goes to a shoe.
So Sebastian Muller 7013 says, "Is it just me, or do the Sisters of Battle give off dominatrix vibes?" It's not just you. It's not just you. Yeah,
definitely.
They
are literally drawn to be 80s rock stars, like
dominatrix rock stars.
Exactly. Well, that's the same thing. You were saying the same words.
I mean, Joan Jett was definitely a dominatrix. She gave off some vibes. But Annie Lennox, I'm not so sure. fair enough. Anyway,
You give them a chance.
moving on.
But yeah, their armor very much is a armored corset. In fact, I have it right here, and this armor is built exactly to scale. And I could show you the whole inner workings of it.
Why don't you show it off? We're talking about their gear now. So
all right, give me 1 second. I have to take my headset off. So this is just the top half of the armor itself, and it sits on just like this. So
nice.
The armor itself actually sits about a few inches away from the body itself. And typically Sisters of Battle do have a body glove that goes on underneath this that then interfaces with the armor, that then interfaces with their nervous system. So it is not fast. It's not as fast as a Space Marine who can do it based off of the synapses in their brain, where a Sister of Battle has to have the entire thought go down to the nerve ending and then have human reaction speed to get to it, where a Space Marine is moving before they realize what's happening.
There's a particular thing called the black carapace that Space Marines have. It's an implant, a genetic modification of their skin that has these sockets to plug in. And Sisters don't have that.
It's weird that I think the design team got this confused, because if you look at the current day Sisters of Battle, they also have those plugs. And I am 1,000% sure it is not the same thing, but it's very weird, and you can see it on the Repentia. Now, I am assuming that those are plugs that go onto the body glove that then connects to the suit, and it is not a black carapace, but it looks like the design team didn't know the lore and just gave it to them anyway.
Well, it's possible that the plugs and the bodysuit are a pseudo black carapace of their own. I mean, that's where my mind goes. So
there also is a thing called the red carapace, which is a skin suit that feels nerve endings a bit faster, but that's only worn by Inquisitors who wear Terminator armor. So, the two.
There's
Hector Rex and what's her name from Will of Iron? Sabathiel, which is weird because there's also a Mariel Sabathiel who's a technically non-canonical Sister of Battle, but she's also mentioned in an Inferno book recently, so it's weird if it's the same Sabathiel.
Shout out for my boy Hector Rex.
Yeah, poor Hector Rex needs to come back.
He's an awesome dude.
I don't care that he's dead.
So Sisters of Battle, they are elite forces. They're skilled, far more skilled than an Astro Militarum soldier. They also, their devotion and their faith gives them a discipline that means they're far less likely to quail in the face of the enemy. Like a lot of Astro Militarum guys will run away if the danger gets high enough. Sisters generally do not, although they can still be frightened and run away. So there's that. The thing about their gear is that they use weapons that are synonymous with the Imperial faith, of which there are three. What are those three?
Bolter, Melta, Flamer.
Exactly.
Which is why I'm mad that they gave the Palatine a plasma pistol. It should be an Inferno pistol or the Trinity gun. None of this other garbage.
Yeah, or a hand flamer or something like that. Yeah.
Yes.
So bolters, meltas, and flamers make up the vast majority of Sisters of Battle weapons. That's not to mean that they don't use missiles. They do. It's not to mean they don't use big cannons. They do. And they even use plasma. Now this bolter here is a combi melta, which is really cool. And it's got a purity seal. What is a purity seal? Oh, it's a Sisters of Battle purity seal because it's got the fleur-de-lis instead of the skull.
I cannot read it backwards. I remember what it was at one time, but it is one of the Sister of Battle prayers.
And they have many, 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 many prayers.
Yeah.
So Sisters of Battle are how do you become a Sister of Battle, Alexis?
Well, first off, you have to get Batman.
You do have to get Batman. Yep.
Let me take this off. I'm a bit overheating.
All right. I'll keep talking. Sisters of Battle basically are recruited from a organization called the Scala Progenium. The Scala Progenium is essentially a halfway house. It's like where all the orphans go. And especially if you're an orphan of a noble family or a military family, then you go to the Scala Progenium, where you're trained and taught. And the Scala Progenium creates a lot of different things. They create commissars come from the Scala Progenium. Tempestus Scions comes from the Scala Progenium. Lots of administratum.
Caiaphas Cain came from one and now teaches at one.
That's true. Or
although he just got taken out of retirement, so we got to see what happens.
We're not. Yeah, if he's even in the actual setting, because there's no model or rules for him. Anyway, so Scala Progenium is where all these orphans are taught, and a certain portion of them of the female students become Sisters of Battle. But there's one thing that you cannot be and also be a Sister of Battle. What is that thing, Alexis?
A man.
Or a psyker.
Yeah, a psyker. If you're a psyker and you're in the Scala Progenium, congratulations, you're going to the Assassinorum.
Well, that or the Imperial Guard, or there's Inquisitional retinue. There's a lot of different places.
Oh, yeah, you can become part of the arbitrators as well. There's
a lot of different places you can go as a psyker, but you cannot go into the Sisters of Battle.
No, you can't.
So if you have these orphans and if they have the right mindset and the right amount of faith, they're inducted into the ecclesiarchy and they become Sisters of Battle. The lowest rank when you join the Adepta Sororitas is called novitiate. Is that correct?
Yes.
So when you join up, you become a novitiate. These are the youngest, the least.
They are the Sisters of Battle that haven't earned the name Sister of Battle. They haven't earned their Wargear yet, so their Wargear is what they're carrying, which is super funny. They're put under a single Sister Superior, and this Sister Superior is rather low on the Sister Superior totem, so they're not like veteran Sister Superiors. They're just Sister Superiors.
No, I think they're called novitiate superiors. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they're
so a Sister Superior is the equivalent of a sergeant in a Space Marine squad or a Astra Militarum squad. Some Sister Superiors, like the Celestian Superiors, are more like veteran sergeants. But yeah, the sergeant equivalent is the Sister Superior.
Yes.
And
I can find what they're called. Yeah, Novitiate Superior. Yeah, you were correct. For some reason, my brain was like, is it called a novitiate, or does she have like a dumb title?
There's also some unique Wargear that all sisters carry. One is old lore. I haven't been able to find it in the newer codexes, but it's called the Sarissa. And the Sarissa is essentially a power spike, like used by like a bayonet on the end of a bolter. And you had to kind of charge it up between each attack with it. But it's essentially a bayonet called the Sarissa that they had. There's also a thing called, now this is current lore, the Chaplet Ecclesiasticus. What is the Chaplet Ecclesiasticus, Alexis?
I'm not even sure. I'm giggling at its name.
So the Chaplet Ecclesiasticus is essentially a rosary. It's a set of adamantine beads.
Oh yeah, it's the weird.
And and hung on this strand of beads is the emblem, an icon of the ecclesiarchy, which I believe is called.
No, that's not the rosette. That's the
Simulacrum Imperialis.
No, the Simulacrum Imperialis is the big banner.
Okay. No, so anyway, so the emblem of the ecclesiarchy, the icon of the ecclesiarchy is on a rosary, and that's what the Chaplet Ecclesiasticus is. The thing she's pointing at is the emblem of the ecclesiarchy. Yep. Now, so tell us about the Simulacrum Imperialis.
So the Simulacrum Imperialis contains sometimes the bones of a saint, a sacred relic, or something else that the sisters will carry into battle. And that sister is only armed with like a bolt gun at best. And she has to hold that thing up. It is their sacred banner that the battle sisters carry into battle. And this thing is the presence of one makes the sisters more how do you put it?
Zealous?
Yeah, it makes them a bit more crazy, where they want to fight harder. If they see it hit the ground, they will go into a frenzy trying to get it back up. The sister that's carrying it, fervent. Thank you. That was the word I was trying to say, but my brain was like ferret. And I'm like, that's not the correct word.
It makes them ferrets. They're all ferrets now.
But this thing, if it hits the ground, they get super annoyed, super angry, and they rise it back up. And the sister that is given this thing is considered a great honor. In terms of game, it actually gives you an extra command point, which means you can do more things on the battlefield. It also allows you to be more faithful.
Now, the sister who carries that is called an imagifer. Is that right?
The one that carries a sacred relic that is a veteran has the a magnifier.
Okay, but the magnifier is like a banner.
Yes, it is a banner, but it's more sacred, more important, bigger banner.
Yeah. There's a lot to go through here, guys. I promise you we're getting there. And we haven't even talked about the major orders, like what they are and who they represent. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, Hawk Oddly. Hawk, my man. Fell into the Sisters of Battle win.
They can't.
They're mutants, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, they
abhumans and mutants are not allowed. That's psychers, abhumans, and mutants cannot be Sisters of Battle,
which is a shame.
Yeah, I'm sure there's actually quite a few female ratlings who are like, hey, what are we, chopped liver? Hey.
Hey, if I wasn't eating right now, I would give you what for.
You're lucky I've got this pie.
Yeah. Frodo, hold my pie.
All right. Well, what should we talk about faith next?
Oh, faith. Where to start with that? They gained it from the Emperor. They can do miracles with it. These miracles can vary from smiting an entire, like throwing out fire from a sword that can banish 100 demons, to making a sister stand and face an entire tyrannid presence by herself, which is one of the, I think that was in 9th edition codex. It's this little lore blurb where a sister of battle was so crazy that after her entire order died, she stood there and killed every last Nid until they were all dead and that high fleet was killed. Did she fall? And it's like, it's such a cool story of a last stand.
Yeah.
But also like the most bullshit like power ever, because like, why not give that to the first company Terminators?
So faith and miracles are things that happen in 40K. They have been recorded. These things are known to be real, and they happen more often with the Sisters of Battle than anyone else. The sisters seem to be able to cause these seemingly miraculous events through their faith in the Emperor. And according to the sisters, they'll tell you these are unexplained manifestations of the Emperor's will.
Yep.
Whether that's true or not, we have no clue.
So what we do know about miracles and everything is when Sarazak was a Necron, was experimenting with warp technology and shutting off the warp fields around the planet itself, Ethereal Stern was not affected by it, and she drew all of her power and became a Super Saiyan, and he's just like, yo, what hacks? How are you doing that? I pulled all of your warp powers away. You cannot do that. And she's just like, my faith is strong, and I have plot armor. And he was just like, dang it.
Something that's actually really interesting is the newest lore, their most recent codex, talks about the Rosarius, which is that item that generates a force field. And according to the most recent codex, the Rosarius amplifies the spiritual will of their wearer into a physical shield of energy. That is a direct quote from the codex, and I wrote it down because it was so strange and so unusual.
So, okay. I
know that's me. I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Okay, so my explanation for this one would be this. We know that the Rosarius is a force field generator. We know that it can take energy and dissipate it into light.
We know that.
Which would, of course, blow up an entire planet. But we're not going to get here or there with the fact that
don't think about it too much.
If you transfer something into light, the resulting explosion would. Anyway, I always just say it reverts into another dimension and then light appears. That's always been my go-to.
Sufficiently advanced technology, Alexis. Sufficiently advanced.
Bullshit sci-fi. Anyway, so I always viewed that as the actual piece of war gear. But Sisters of Battle, since the earlier codexes were given Rosariuses that had different abilities than having an invo save.
Well, supposedly.
So my takeaway from this is they believe it does this, and it also is a force field generator.
So the Rosarius is a specific item that the ecclesiarchy has. If you're a high enough ranked priest or preacher, you have a Rosarius. If you're a high enough ranked Sister of Battle, you have a Rosarius. Guess who also has Rosariuses?
Chaplains.
That's right, Space Marine chaplains. Why do Space Marine chaplains have Rosariuses?
Because they're priests.
Because they share something with the ecclesiarchy, and that is the ecclesiarchy reaching out to the Space Marines, going, "Okay, so we're not going to fight, right? We're going to give you these cool force field generators for your priests." And the chaplains, who are not actually priests but are kind of like priests, are like, "Yeah, okay, we'll take it. Sure, why not? That's fine."
In the Heresy tabletop game, a Rosarius is just a piece of war gear that gives a 4-up invo save.
And it's possible. It's quite possible
every character can get them.
It's quite possible that the chaplains had it first.
Yeah.
In fact, so lore that suggests that it was given to I don't know. Like it's weird, but it's possible that the chaplain's Rosarius became the ecclesiarchy's Rosarius, who then wrote legends about giving it to the chaplains.
I mean, it's not too far of a stretch to say some of the original chaplains that survived the heresy turned to religion and then used it as their way of telling each other, and then from there the ecclesiarchy took it as their symbol, and then it made it into the war gear that we know today.
It's an interesting story to think about it. It's really pretty cool.
But we have two current contradicting pieces of lore about the Rosarius, because if we look in the Space Marine Codex, it's just an invulnerable save generator. It's just a shield generator.
There's no spiritual meaning to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I like the idea that the sisters think that, where the Space Marines war gear is the atheist view of it.
Yeah, maybe. It's interesting. But it's undeniable that miracles happen more often around the sisters than anybody else. They clearly have some kind of special connection with the Emperor that manifests as miracles.
And if we go by our martyred lady, we know that Saint Celestine, when she dies and she comes back, she has died and come back 1,000 times. When she dies, she goes into a small realm where the Emperor speaks to her, though it's never stated what the Emperor is saying or if it's just a vibe. The Emperor will then guide her. Ow, dang it, I hit my desk. But the Emperor will then guide her with the light of the Astronomicon. She will fly out and go to a battlefield that needs her. So she has the ability to teleport around the galaxy. But it's the faith of the people that call to Celestine and bring her out. So she is physically there. Like, she is a person. You can do things with her. Greyfax has mentioned wanting to. But she is also, every time she dies, they have her body. Like, she has seen her own dead body, which is super trippy. So there is a good chance that most Rosariuses, most Simulacrum Imperialises just have one of her bodies in it.
I mean, she can leave behind a lot of bones.
Exactly. Well, like that's one of the whole things is, like, in the Emperor's realm, it's just bones, because it's all of those who have, died before and whose souls he's protecting or whatever. But we know that Celestine can go to where she is needed, and we know Ethereal Stern is guided by an unseen force to where she's needed.
Including, she's the only human that's canonically known to go to the Black Library.
Yes, she walked into the Black Library with solitaires helping her.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. She's met the White Council, which is insane.
She's a very special lady. Ethereal Stern is a very, very special lady. I imagine that she's going to be very, very important in future events. Let's just put it that way.
Also, the half-elf that's with her, that's definitely not a half-elf. but
Oh,
is
yes.
is a cheeky reference that he's a half elf.
His name is Kygarl of the Bloody Tears. Kyganel of the Bloody Tears. He's an ex-Harlequin who has given up the ways of the Harlequins to travel with Ephriel Stern.
I mean, have you seen Ephriel Stern? I would travel with her.
I mean, I travel with pretty much any sister battle, to be honest. But
yeah, I'd feel safe. Well, maybe not with this. I would definitely
no,
get a
you would
tattoo
not.
removal.
You would not be safe.
I would definitely be in like full armor all the time. Never let them see my skin.
All right. So that's about the faith and the miracles, and I mean we could speculate at length, but the fact of the matter is just nobody knows.
But like just some quick examples of the faith is coming back to life, slaying demons, being possessed by the emperor, talking with a voice of your own to convince people to do certain things. Pushing through an entire plague company so that Gilliman can get and kill the end and the death demon and then believe in the emperor as a god and then question his own beliefs.
Professor Shapp says, "Seize Argenta, torch a heretic. Thank the emperor, I am on her side." Yes.
Yep.
That is how most people look at the Sisters of Battle. Yeah. The other ways that miracles can happen is Sisters' weapons can strike something that they shouldn't. They can ignore an invulnerable save, for example, or a force field. They can strike harder in melee than they should.
Yeah, there is a lot of animations of Sisters being able to go toe-to-toe and parry Space Marines.
Which they shouldn't be able to, but faith allows them to do.
But they're always shown before that praying and then doing those crazy acts. So it's really cool.
They can ignore a lot. In earlier editions of this game, faith actually was a very strong defense against enemy psychic powers.
Yep.
They could glow with blinding holy light, which I think is like the most unsubtle use of it, probably.
Yeah.
And then they can strike with unerring accuracy with ranged attacks, or heal the flesh of wounded sisters.
Oh, this is actually true. You do not need strength to parry. I should have corrected this. She actually holds back the Space Marine, which is something that she would require strength to do. But parrying a blade by a stronger opponent is incredibly easy. In fact, I actually find it to be a little bit more easy than a weaker opponent, because a stronger opponent tends to swing faster, which means you can parry it much easier, and you just simply, it's super easy.
Well, we have dumped a lot of lore on these guys. Do we have any more super chats to read?
Oh, holy guacamole. Let's see. Where did we stop? This stupid eyelash in my eye is just driving me bananas.
I'm sorry.
Let's see.
I'm very sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just going to rip out my own eye and get a bionic later.
That would be very sororitas of you.
Exactly. Bring the Novatera. I think we just have this one.
The red magma. I actually like. Oh, we did read this one.
Then we are caught up on the super chats for today. Well, for right now.
Would you like to talk about the units, the organization, or the matriarchs?
Oh, I like talking about units.
All right, so let's go through the units of the Sisters of Battle. We talked about the novitiates already, which are the youngest one. But there's also, who would you like to pick next?
Let's just go in the order that we have them written. Let's go with the Repentia.
Oh, I can't wait to hear your description of the Repentia.
So Repentia are some of my favorite girls, and I specifically buy the old metal models because they look way better than the stupid tennis shoe wearing girls of today. I absolutely hate the new models for them. I think they look atrocious, and I use them for arcoflagellants, and I actually give them wire arms because I hate those models, and they deserve to be arcoflagellants. But the Repentia are absolutely cool, and I love them. What is this?
Indiscriminate person says all sisters live in Emperor protect me, yeet self at enemy mode. That's fair.
Yeah. So Repentia are what happens when a sister battle sins. When a sister battle does something that is considered a sin, they go on and become repentant. They try to cleanse themselves, cleanse their soul. And a lot of the times this does mean that they will kill themselves essentially by running headlong into the enemies. But a Repentia will, if she's earned her armor, will forego her armor entirely, forego the body glove, and only wear what little she has left. She will wear just the she will purposely put barbs into their skin so that they feel pain at all times as a way of purifying themselves. They will wear crowns of like spikes into their head. They will wear things that stab into them and under them so that every time they move, it causes them to bleed. And all of this pain just makes them more and more fervent and more zealous.
They're very guilty. So guilty.
Yes. They are then given the coolest goddamn sword in the entire galaxy.
The Eviscerator.
The Eviscerator, which is a chain sword that's bigger than them sometimes. This is a two-handed chain sword that they somehow wield with no augmentation.
It's now, the 40k version of the Buster sword. It's ginormous.
Yes. This thing is, in-game terms, strength 6, AP 2, damage 2. And Sisters of Battle Sister Repentia get to reroll everything on the turn that they charge because they're crazy. But this weapon is given to them, and then a Dogmata is put in charge of them, or a Dogmata is put in charge of the Mistress of Repentance.
The Dogmata, so the Sister Dogmata are the ones who decide if you're doing Sisters right or not. And if you're not doing Sisters right, you become a Repentia. And the Dogmata is the one who says, okay, you are no longer a sister, you're a Repentia. You have to go until you absolve yourself of these sins, then you could come back to the fold. And the sister in charge of the Repentia, who is the Repentia.
So it's the Repentant Superior, but her old title was Mistress of Repentance, which is a way cooler name. Again,
dominatrix vibes.
Yeah, exactly.
She has a whip and everything.
She does have heals, though. She does. She is the only other Sister of Battle with heals. But that all aside, a Sister Repentia is organized into a Repentia unit, and then these units are just thrown at the enemy, and they just charge forward with these crazy blades in their hands, and sometimes combat drugs of all types stimming them up like crazy. Or they run out with nothing and can still lift this chainsword like it's nothing and swing it around. And they will kill everything in their path. It does not matter what it is. They will just throw themselves at it until they tear it to pieces.
So there was a model for there was this game in the 90s called Inquisitor, which was 52 millimeter scale 40k.
It was a very awkward scale.
They were this big. There was a redemptionist preacher for that line, and he had a chainsword, and I took the blade off of that and then cut my Repentia's blades and used that blade instead because it was bigger than the Repentia was tall. I went for the full Buster Sword experience.
Yes. That's what you need to do.
So Repentia are really cool. They're a close combat unit who will fight to the death because they want to absolve themselves of their sins. They're essentially dwarf slayers as Sisters of Battle.
Yes, they are just dwarf slayers, but they don't try. Like if they do enough in the Repentia, they can be absolved of their sins, and if they don't and do more sins, then they're thrown into a penitent engine.
No, they're thrown into the mortifier.
Oh, yeah, sorry. They switched it now, and now it's the Mortifier for Sisters and the Penitent Engine for anybody.
So the Penitent Engines are a mechanical suit that you wear when you are convicted of a crime against the faith. And when you are this condemned criminal, they put you in this war suit that has a giant saw blade and a flamer attached to it. And you're thinking to yourself, well, that seems counterproductive. Why would you sentence a criminal to be like super strong and tough? Well, Penitent engines actually aren't great to drive. They are a cage as much as they are a suit that you wear, and that it is a cage that tortures you while you're wearing it. So the pain spurs you on to go fight harder, and the mortifiers are an even more extreme version of that.
Yep. And then there's an even more extreme version of it called
can you expand on the difference between a mortifier and a penitent engine?
One is for sisters, one isn't. That's kind of it.
I mean, I think there's some.
There's the mortifier, the penitent engine, and where's that third one?
You're talking about the power suit?
No, there's a. Oh, sorry, they changed it to being a named version of it. Never mind. There used to be an open coffin one that had a sister in it. And now it's just the mortifier.
Okay, I'm sure there's probably some other differences between mortifiers and penitent engines, but that's
one has a coffin that keeps the sisters safer so that they can operate longer, and the penitent engine just keeps them fully exposed so they can feel all the pain and everything.
So I want to grab the super chat because it's relevant to something we said recently.
Yeah, go ahead.
Skitari Boy says, "What do you mean the coolest?" Talking about eviscerators.
Yeah,
that's transonic blades. Shake my head. Transonic blades are super cool, I will grant you, but I think the eviscerators are more metal.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes, like nothing says a completely useless weapon like a giant chainsaw that you have to press against an enemy to kill them instead of a vibro blade that would cut through them.
So then we've got retributors. Retributors are your sisters of battle who carry heavy weapons. They're the devastator equivalent. They usually carry multi-meltas or heavy flamers, but they can also carry heavy bolters.
Yep. Retributors specialize in vehicle killing as well as sieging. They are one of the few units that typically holds back, which is crazy. They also swear oaths of destruction on things, and if they don't, follow that oath, it's a sin. But retributors are just an insanely scary unit because it is 4 girls with heavy weapons, led by a girl with typically a combi weapon, and then 5 other girls to, in case those girls die, pick up that heavy weapon and keep going.
And these are the calmest of the sisters.
Yeah, these are the calmest ones. These are the ones that they rocket up. Typically, they ride around in either the rhino or the repressor. They'll ride up onto the battlefield. They'll jump out while the rhino gives them some suppression fire, and then they'll find their target, kill their target, get back into the rhino or repressor, and move to another part of the battlefield to do the same thing.
Super Orlok, I think, points out here that the coffin also deafens the sister, so she can't hear the sounds of battle or her sister's prayers or songs. Doesn't it like tell her, like in her sister's voices, like all of her sins as well?
I think so. I know it's like it's an absolute horrific monstrosity that the Imperium has built.
Well, the ecclesiarchy.
Yeah.
Professor Shep says, "Do you mean the anchorite, Alexis, the one that looks like they're encased in a coffin?"
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Okay.
Because the mortifier is the one that doesn't have the coffin, and it's a sister battle. Then the anchorite is the one in the coffin. Thank you. I was trying to figure out its name.
So then they have vehicles. The sisters have plenty of vehicles. They use the rhino chassis for a lot. They just have straight up rhinos. They also have immolators, which are rhinos with
their rhino is a bit different and should be talked about a bit. It's never mentioned in the lore, but their rhino miniature is the Demos pattern. And they have a lot of Demos stuff because they do buy it straight from Mars, which is very unusual because they have a better pattern of rhino than Space Marines.
Well, again, the tech priests really don't want to get hassled. They really, really, really don't want to get hassled over their religion. So they're like, here you go. You can just have these.
Now, the one thing that's different about the Sister Battle Rhino versus the Space Marine, or extremely rarely the Guard Rhino, the Rhino for the Sisters of Battle is equipped with loud hailers that, blast church music.
Speakers. Speakers.
It's also somehow just as faithful as the sisters and can shield itself.
I believe that's probably the driver.
Yeah, which is just kind of weird that you could, and the sister just goes, all right, now I'm mad, and just crawls out of the hole.
There's also an immolator, which is a rhino with heavy flamers attached to it.
Yep. But I do want to talk about another piece of Wargear that's slightly different for the Sisters of Battle, and that is their Hunter-Killer Missile. Their Hunter-Killer Missile is just straight up a javelin missile. So it does fire typically up and then hit targets on the top of the tank. which is super cool and very unique because the Imperial Guard Hunter Killer Missile is a rocket. Sometimes it's actually a missile and has some type of tracking, but it's very weak and mass produced. The Space Marine one is a missile that fires out and then goes up and then goes to the target. But the Sister of Battle rocket fires up, like first going up and then to the target. So it is a very unique missile that they have for their Hunter Killer Missile.
Well, we should do a whole episode on the Adeptus Munitorum. The Munitorum is the ones who do all the logistics for the Astra Militarum and many other Imperial organizations. And they generally do a pretty good job, but they also sometimes screw up and send shitty rockets when they should be sending guided missiles.
Oh, yeah. I've been going through all of the Astra Militarum stuff on my channel, which is just over here, Norn Queen Alexis, and just going through all of the vehicles. I'm currently up to the APCs, and I'm just having a ton of fun with it right now. And I'm talking about the logistics because that is my forte. I love logistics. It's a lot of fun to like actually see how a battle really works with the vehicles that they have available. But let's get back to Sisters of Battle.
What's a repressor? What's a repressor, Alexis?
Well, the repressor is a Rhino Plus. It is a Rhino with an extended top mount on the back of it that 6 individuals inside can shoot out of. Very similar to the lasgun array of a Chimera. This is just a opening for 6 Sisters of Battle inside, or arbitrators, because the arbitrators have this as well, that they can fire out from. This vehicle was so ungodly overpowered that it got removed from the game because it was too overpowered. And that makes me super happy because I have 8 of them. I used to run the list with them. They were so overpowered. But the repressor is a crowd clearing vehicle that typically uses water cannons. But since it's the arbitrators that used it, it was flamethrowers and storm bolters. And then the Sisters of Battle got a hold of it because of their trade deals and equipped it with 2 heavy flamethrowers. So it has the repressor siege shield on the front of it, which is a giant plow that actually gave this thing an insane melee profile and is designed for crushing infantry, not bulldozing terrain, crushing infantry. And that makes me happy.
We got a message from Hawk I want to bring up here really quick. And because I'm just going to push on my glasses here. Well, actually, the javelins do shoot out sideways first and then go up.
Yes, they do. But what I mean is the rocket is actually positioned in a 45-degree angle at the back of the tank, which then fires and goes up immediately.
Yeah.
I could go into the actual detail of because I went over this with a military historian. We know the actual missile that a Rhino fires. We have the exact missile they based it off of. And it's really funny because it's very awkward because it's a modern day weapon on it.
So Hawk also asks, the repressor was oppressive? Shocked Pikachu face.
Okay, so let me tell you about the repressor really quick for a tabletop perspective. The repressor was so ungodly overpowered that you would stick 2 units of Battle Sisters inside it.
Retributors, probably.
No, Battle Sisters, because they would have 4 heavy weapons. So you would have
I thought Retributors had 4 heavy weapons.
Standard Battle Sisters back in the day when you could take this thing could take a special or heavy weapon and a heavy weapon. Retributors can take 4 heavy weapons. That's what makes them super good. But Battle Sisters, you would take 2 squads, split them using immolators, and then sticking those 5 girls from each one inside the repressor. God, terminology. You would have 2 multi-meltas and 2 combi meltas inside it. So it would have 6 guns to shoot outside of it. Okay? Then you had 2 heavy flamethrowers, and this thing would run up the field. And because it was firing a Melta, Flamer, and Bolt weapon, because it had a Storm Bolter, you could activate the stratagem Holy Trinity. And when you did that, the unit got +1 to wound the entire turn.
Oh my god, that's broken.
This applied to its melee profile.
Oh my god.
So the immolator, when it tank shocked, dealt 11d6 mortal wounds to the enemy. Granted, you have to roll 5s and 6s, but it maxed out at 6 at the time. So it would deal 6 mortal wounds, then have 9 attacks that hit on 3s, fully re-rolling, and wounding on 2s.
Yeah,
and it
pretty
had
wicked.
AP. So it was a nightmare to deal with. And you would rocket in so many of these. I remember killing my opponents turn 1 in big tournaments with them, and it was so much fun. Because I was doing really well at Sisters of Battle, and I was actually like in the top ITC for Sisters for a little bit. Granted, it was only like 2 weeks, but still, I was there.
That's awesome. I take my hat off to you. That's excellent.
It was very fun for me.
Yeah.
then it got yeeted from the game, and I blame me for that.
So the last Rhino version we need to talk about is the Exorcist. And this is the one that fires the missiles. We've talked a little bit about this in the past, but essentially
we also have the Castigator.
Okay. We'll talk about the Castigator next.
Yeah.
But the Exorcists are missile launcher tanks.
Yep.
They have been, the first version of this looked a lot like a whirlwind. Yep. Then later versions introduced the idea that it was a pipe organ and the missiles are firing up out of the pipes as the organist plays the keys, which is hilarious and also really cool looking.
Yes, it's an amazing tank and I love it.
And they were powerful. Their missiles are strong. Those are crack missiles, if I'm not mistaken, and they can fire like a barrage of them.
Yeah, they are. Hang on, in current edition, because I have the codex right here, and I've just been looking at it and going, "Oh, maybe I should play Sisters of Battle again." They're too many points, so they're not worth it. But the Exorcist has 2 different modes that it can fire in. In the lore, they can load multiple different missile systems inside this, depending on the target that they needed. But they didn't know what kind of missiles were going to come out of it. They just picked a target and were just like, yeah, let's hope to hit that thing. But the Exorcist can fire 3 different missiles. It is the Conflagration rockets, which is a flame-based rocket that would rain down into the enemy. They had the Exorcist. Yeah. They had the Exorcist missile launcher, which is the standard crack rocket. And then they had an anti-air gun that was just called the anti-air missile. Very imaginative, I know.
I mean, so let's I'm going to ask you about the Castigator. What is a Castigator?
So the Castigator is a Space Marine Predator, but better. It has 1 extra weapon.
Well, is this the tank?
Yeah.
But it's built on a Rhino chassis.
Yeah. Okay. It's built on a Demos pattern Rhino chassis. It is a Demos Predator, sort of. If you look at it, you can see that it's a hybrid between the Demos pattern and the current pattern, which I believe is called the Indominus pattern. I can't remember the exact pattern of Predator right now. I know the current armor set for the Rhino is yeah. Anyway, not important, but what is important is this thing has 2 different cannons that it can choose from, and they can be swapped in and out really quickly. This tank is actually really efficient and very weird for the Sisters of Battle because it is a practical vehicle, which is bizarre for the Sisters. It has 3 heavy bolters. It has 2 side sponsons and 1 hull-mounted heavy bolter. But the heavy bolters cannot be swapped out. Granted, they should be able to be swapped out for multi-melters or heavy flamethrowers, and I will die on that hill. But it also has its main turret could either be the twin Castigator autocannon or the Castigator battle cannon. So the battle cannon is good against tanks and buildings, where the autocannon is good against super heavy infantry and heavy infantry. It also bursts through regular infantry real quick.
Micah points out that one thing the Sisters do have is theatrics because their vehicles have like the kids say, aura. Their vehicles do have aura because they are blinged out to hell and back with all the religious iconography. They look pretty amazing, actually. I'm a fan.
They really do. I absolutely love them. The Castigator is a tank that is very much an anti-infantry, mostly tank, and it will just burst things down with its heavy bolters. And it typically carries more ammunition than a regular Predator does. Although if we got into... I will save the ammunition talk for my channel, because 600 rounds for a heavy bolter would be done in 30 seconds.
I should point out there's about 45 minutes left for the giveaway. If you want to get involved, if you just joined us, we're giving away a box of a Kill Team Scouts. So
Space Marine Scouts.
So in YouTube, in comments, exclamation point, capital S Scouts, all one word, and just do it once, and that will enter you for the giveaway, which we will announce the winner of at about 20 till the end of our show, about 20 minutes till. So let's talk about one of my favorite bits is the Paragon warsuits.
Oh, heck yeah, the Nundums.
Or Nundums, as they're called. So you remember I was saying that Battle Sisters kind of like warrior nuns. One of the jokes, one of the memes, I should say, of the early Sisters of Battle armies is they would be the nuns with guns. So
they have another nickname as well, and
they do
another one.
They have many nicknames. I picked the best one, which is
I also like Melta Maidens.
Melta Maidens is pretty great. I do like that one. But the Paragon warsuits take this to a new degree. The Paragon warsuits are they are an exoskeletal suit that you wear, so kind of like a Sister of Battle dreadnought, but the pilot is fully alive. Closer to the warsuit that the Primaris Marines have now as well. So it has these giant missile launchers on either side. It's got melee weapons and guns in the arms. But the coolest thing by far is that these, the way that the sisters put these on, they go down into the catacombs where these things are kept in their little shrines where they're given power and fuel and ammunition and all those things. And the sister will kneel down for the Paragon warsuit and pray that they are worthy. And if the suit finds them worthy, it will lift its blade and place it on their shoulder, sort of knighting them and saying, "You are worthy," which the sisters believe this is a miracle. To my eyes, that is clearly some sort of protocol the tech priest put in, that the suit's like, "Oh, you're here. I will notify you that I am ready to be put on by putting my sword on
It's definitely not an AI inside it.
It's definitely not. Or it's not the machine spirit, or it's not a program. It's not it. Who knows? But it's fascinating. I love the idea of it.
I liked the lore that got rejected for it. And this is more of like we know it's lore. We know what it is. We know what it does. But I really liked when it was a Sister of Battle who got either their arm or leg blown off and wanted to keep fighting, and they would put them inside the Nundum. I really liked when it was almost that, because it makes so much sense because of the way that they sit inside it or fit inside it. But the Paragon warsuits are an insanely good unit. They're very quick for a warsuit, essentially. They have access to a multi-melta, a heavy flamethrower, or a heavy bolter. You obviously go with the multi-melta. They also have the option for shoulder-mounted storm bolters or grenade launchers. You go with the grenade launcher. They have access to a tank-destroying mace or a gigantic sword. And that one really depends. The ones with Morven Vol, I typically give maces to. Morven Vol is also in a Paragon warsuit, but hers is a special Paragon warsuit that has a Cyclone missile launcher attached to it and a heavy bolter called Fidelis. Fidelis.
And don't forget the lance that was given to her by the Adeptus Custodes.
Yep,
she wields
a dreadnought lance, which is very strange.
And it was given to her by the custodians, which is pretty awesome.
Yep. She's also a High Lord of Terror, but we'll get to her in just a moment.
Oh, you know what? There is technically one more pattern of Rhino, and this is extremely, extremely obscure lore. I want to be very clear. In a witch hunter scenario for White Dwarf,
I remember this one.
They talked about a type of Rhino that the sisters have called an incarcerator, which is a prisoner transport. That's a deep cut for everybody there. That's like the most obscure thing I've seen in a long time.
Weirdly enough, I think the idea of that went to the not the arbitrators, the enforcers for Necromunda.
And we're gonna have to talk about the differences between enforcers and arbitres sometime really soon.
Yeah.
So
I think we'd have to lump that in with like what are the Imperial agents?
Yeah, that would probably be a good time to talk about it. But
Yeah.
there's some very distinct and important differences between those two organizations. Anyway,
Yeah.
So we talked about the Paragon warsuits. They have the firepower of a Space Marine dreadnought, but they're generally faster and less armored. Is I guess the kind of best way I could put it.
They do have a force field generator built in, though.
Well, true, but so did the Contemptor dreadnoughts. So
yeah, I think it's on par with that.
Fair enough. They're related to things like the Nemesis Dreadnought, and I believe it's called the Centurion
Nemesis
warsuit.
baby carrier.
The Centurion warsuit, which is the Space Marine Centurions. This technology exists across a lot of different things, is what I'm trying to get at.
It's also really weird that the Centurion and the Saturnine Terminators are the same thing, and that freaked me out.
Well,
that was so weird putting it together, and it's just like, this is just, I'm just putting big shoulder pads on a Centurion. I compared both their models when I was building them both next to each other, and it's the same exoskeleton, so you can actually see a de-evolution of technology, as they couldn't. This is Space Marine talk. We could save that for Space Marine, but needless to say, the Saturnine Terminator armor is very much related, not the same thing, related to the Centurion armor.
No, it's clearly there. You could draw a line.
Yeah.
That's
because
really
you can
cool.
see the same exoskeleton. It's super cool. I love it.
Speaking of the same thing as Space Marines, but slightly different, there's the Dominica pattern drop pod that the sisters use, which is it's a Space Marine drop pod. I mean, it's just a different name.
Yeah. There is some lore somewhere that says it's slightly slower, but that doesn't make too much sense since the inside of a drop pod has an anti-grav field anyway. So they don't really feel the impact.
But now we get to the real veterans of the Sisters Battle, the Celestians. These are the girls that have been in a lot of fights. These are the Sisters Battle that have been in a whole lot of war. They're essentially a veteran squad.
I would put them as a Space Marine equivalent in terms of like, what they are to the order would be Stern Guard veterans. And then these Sacrisans would be the Vanguard veterans.
So contextually, Celestians are typically bodyguard units for canonesses and prioresses and palatines. The higher level commanders typically have a bodyguard of Celestians because they're the most elite of the elite. However,
also, I am mad that my Celestian unit army that was recently winning tournaments got nerfed, and I'm mad about that. Tabletop related, I'm mad, big mad, in fact. GW strictly has it out for me.
Apparently. They heard about you in the repressors. So there's a different type of Celestians, though, the Celestian Sacrisans. Now, Sacrisans are not bodyguards. These are actually, the closest equivalent is actually from Bretonia in the Warhammer Fantasy side. They're like questing knights. The Sacrisans go out on holy journeys that they receive visions, and they just go out and do quests. Basically, they're the closest thing to like an adventuring party that Sisters of Battles have.
They carry a baby coffin shield. It is the most metal thing in all of 40K.
Wow.
They have a baby's coffin as a shield, and that's the design of them. And then they carry a halberd. How they wield both of them is beyond me, because it's a pistol in the other hand.
Power armor.
No, like even with the power armor, there's no way to feasibly wield that thing correctly with the style of shield that they get. If it was a rounded shield, it would make more. Anyway.
Sufficiently advanced technology.
Sci-fi bullcrap. I can't wait to see an animator try to animate that thing. It's going to be the funniest thing, because I imagine they're just going to stab. And that's it.
And then there's the Sisters Dogmata. Sisters Dogmata, as we mentioned before, are the commissar equivalent. Like, they are the ones that keep an eye on. Oh, there's Kovu. the commissar equivalent. So Sisters Dogmata are the ones that observe and judge their fellow sisters to make sure that they are correctly following the doctrine of their particular order. They're the ones who judge you worthy of being a sister of battle or no longer being worthy, and you're sent to be, they're the judges essentially of the organization.
I wonder, like, I assume that they do the same thing as commissars. I was going to say something completely different, but commissars, where they can actually not field promote you, but put in word for you to be promoted.
Yeah,
I assume they do the same thing, right?
Well, I imagine the word of a sister dogmata would be taken very seriously by the canoness. Yeah. They would be like, "Oh, you think this one's worthy of promotion? Well, okay, I will consider that."
Like, this battle sister is very, very crazy and really good with a melt-a-gun. Let's put her in this squad.
Yeah, sisters dogmata are like that. Then we have the upper levels. We have the palatines and the canonesses. So talk about palatines and canonesses.
So a palatine is basically your lieutenant. It is a girl that's in charge of half your company, just like the lieutenant. So if you're in a crusade, depending on how big your crusade is, you'll have multiple canonesses, and then you'll have a higher canoness, one that's more experienced than all the others. But below them will be a system of palatines, 2 of them for every 1 canoness. And those act as your lieutenants. They typically go with battle sisters to get them more into battle and to keep battlefield coordination with the canoness and the lines of communication open. They're lieutenants. Yeah. No,
that's fair. And then the canoness is the captain equivalent. They are typically in charge of at the level that they're at, a canoness is usually in command of one of the orders.
Yes.
If you're
superior.
Well, okay, that depends on whether you're an order majoris or an order minoris.
Yes.
If you're one of the big 6, you're a canoness superior. If you're not one of the big 6, you're just a canoness. That's really the only difference, though.
Yeah, here it is. The order command is a canoness superior, and then she leads a canoness preceptor, which then leads a canoness.
Well, the preceptory is...
This is so silly. They should just name them different things.
Preceptories are higher than orders. You can be... So that's... I want to be clear about that. There's actually only... there's only 2 prioresses in the entire galaxy. The prioresses are in charge of the preceptories. And the 2 prioresses, they report to the abbess sanctorum, who is the highest ranking sister battle that exists.
Which is her.
Morven Val is the current abbess sanctorum, who also happens to be, as Alexis pointed out earlier, a High Lord of Terra, who fights on the front lines. That has greatly disturbed the High Lords of Terra, because they're like, hey, that's we're not supposed to be doing that.
Her whole story is so much fun, because Morven Val's story is a story of corruption, and it's great because she's very young. That's one of her big things, is that she is young. We don't know how young. I assume she's served for like over 50 years, but she's still considered very young. But the Ministorum put her as the head of the Sister of Battle to manipulate her and then put her into the High Lords of Terra so that they had a better seat in Terra. And she went along with the whole thing, was just like, yeah, I'll definitely do that. Yes, 100%. And then the second she got in charge, she was just like, okay, so here's what we need to do for the Sisters of Battle. We need this. I'm going to go over here. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
And they were just like, wait, no, we were cheating.
Yeah. The ecclesiarchy is like, so now we need you to do this. And she's like, no, screw off.
She also is one of the few people who can look at Guilliman in the eyes and talk to him as not an equal, but she didn't flinch. Yeah, and that was considered a big thing for her.
Her composure is legendary. She's supposed to be like the steely-eyed of the steely-eyed. She doesn't flinch from anything.
Although we also don't know what happened to her predecessor. She disappeared in a spaceship that went into the warp.
Well, we know that it occurred during the Cicatrix Maledictum, and she's lost and presumed dead. Is the current situation. So now let's talk about. So we talked about there's retributors. Those are the heavy weapons versions. There's also the Dominions, and the Dominions are the special weapon version. These are the, I want all the flamers and all the meltaguns in one squad.
These are the crazier sisters. So like a normal battle sister squad will run out of cover into the enemy, dying for the Emperor. These girls will be the ones pushing those girls out of the way to do it first.
Yeah, Dominions are the most fervent. They're amongst the most fervent.
Yeah.
Then there's the Seraphim and the Zephyrim.
Oh, there is one other thing to point out about them. They are considered so it's very weird, and I have to use terminology loosely here, but the battlefield role for
Dominions?
Dominions, thank you. I was going to say Celestians. Dominions is that they are a scout unit, where the battlefield role of the novitiates is reconnaissance.
Well, the Dominions are really they're close fire weapon support.
Which is weird because their whole thing is that they scout ahead of armies.
Well,
but it also makes more sense that they would be the ones to the front lines first, and they would be the ones pushing front lines. So it's
more about their aggressiveness than their battlefield role. But they're just very aggressive because they like to get in and fire up close and personal. And then there's the Seraphim and the Zephyrim, which are their two jump pack units.
Yep.
Now the Seraphim are the ones that have been around the longest. I've seen Seraphim since I started playing 40K, over 20 years ago. God,
they were made in what, 3rd edition? Was their first appearance?
I think so. So Seraphim are the hit and run specialists. These are sisters battle with either twin bolt pistols, twin melta pistols, or twin hand flamers. And their whole deal is hit and run. They jump in, they blast somebody right in the face, and then they jump out. They're considered I believe you have to be like an athlete. You have to only the most dexterous and athletic sisters battle become Seraphim because it is a lot. It is their jump pack is lighter than the Space Marines jump pack, but it also means they're a little more maneuverable than a typical Space Marine jump pack. They flit around is probably a better way to put it.
Their jump pack can also maintain flight a little bit longer than a typical Space Marine jump pack.
So here's my question to you. What's the difference between a Seraphim and a Zephyrim?
So oh my god. Seraphim are a hit and run tactic. They go into the back lines, they sabotage, they destroy key targets, and they leave. The Seraphim are the ones that typically accompany jump pack canonesses and will rocket into battle with their blades drawn into the front lines and kill. Or they will drop in, they'll orbital drop in, well, usually from a drop ship itself, not straight from orbit. They don't have that thick of armor. But they will jump in and assassinate a key target and then stay there to try to fight their way out.
If I'm not mistaken, Zephyrim also are the ones that sing hymns.
I mean, all of them do, but yes, they do as well. They also carry a banner into battle as well.
They sing while they're, I believe the Codex described them as singing angelic hymns while going into battle.
Yeah. It has to be super distracting for the enemy.
And only sisters who experience a direct and persistent connection with the Emperor can become a Zephyrim. They get kind of overwhelmed by their communion with the Emperor, and so they can't actually speak to any other warriors of their order except themselves. They basically speak in tongues, which is wild.
I think
they exist in a state of unwavering rapture, which is
well, that's borderline Slaneshi, but yeah.
I mean, it sounds like a good time to me. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Some sisters believe that the Zephyrim are actually speaking prophecies when they're speaking in tongues, but they are a melee. They would
call that schizophrenia.
They're devoted to melee and they use power swords. Is really that's the big thing. Okay, Morning to Crescent has a comment here. The Seraphim make you go, "Oh God," when you find out what they've done. The Zephyrim make you go, "Oh God," when you see them coming.
Yes.
Or hear them coming.
There is also a comment here that I just want to answer really quickly. The difference between a scout and a recon unit. A scout unit will check the front line, check deployments, A recon unit will check all of that and go to the back lines to see their supply lines. That's pretty much the difference.
We've talked about mortifiers being a different version of the penitent engines.
Yep.
We could go into more detail, but probably it's looking at the time. I think we probably better not. There's one last thing we need to cover for the units.
The Triumph of St. Catherine.
Why don't you describe this Triumph? Because this thing is the model for the Triumph of St. Catherine is absolutely
I kind of wish I had brought up my Sister of Battle Army. I really should have for this. It would have been great.
I'll get a picture of it up while you talk about it.
So the Triumph of St. Catherine is a book that annoyed me, but I digress. The Triumph of St. Catherine has 6 different characters leading it, all carrying a sacred relic from each of their orders, each of the major orders. One of them happens to be a pizza, which is delicious. They have a ton of weaponry. If you could zoom into that, that'd be great. And they carry around the body of St. Catherine on a hover. I don't know what to call that. A hover coffin?
Beer, like a hover beer or something like that, maybe.
Oh man, they're bringing freaking pizza and beer. That's awesome.
I mean, technically, they are both bringing those things. Yes.
Now,
so those are supposed to be rose petals, I think, is the.
Yeah, it is, but it's definitely just the pizza.
Okay.
That's always been the nickname of it. The girl in the front is carrying around this. Oh my god, I know the name of this. The Perfidius Protectiva or something like that.
Presidium
Protectiva.
Yeah, there you go.
And it is a sacred relic that the woman from Mark of Faith had to go and find. And then the book Triumph of St. Catherine came out and she had it. And it was never explained that she found it. And I'm annoyed because there's no book in the middle of those two. But anyway.
There's the rose petals, and then there's the ebon chalice, which is another holy relic. There's the censer over there, and the bone of St. Catherine, I believe, is there. And then there's that standard, which is the heart on the far right. So this is a procession of the most holy relics of the Sisters of Battle, which are the most holy of the ecclesiarchy. So this is absolutely like Pope Francis's, hope chest of stuff these guys are walking around with. It is ridiculous.
It's insane because these girls will, when this thing is marching, the girls around it are insanely powerful.
They boost.
It makes their faith boost like crazy.
It's got a lot of auras that boost things around them, and they also fight close combat very well.
Yeah, they have like 18 attacks or some crazy number like that. This thing used to be meta, and it was so much fun when it was, because that thing can walk through a building.
I like Mornington Crescent says, "Sir, your DoorDash has arrived."
Yes. Yeah. It has 18 power swords.
Wow.
18 power sword attacks, which is hilarious. And 6 bolt pistols.
Godzilla Rex 100 says, "I hate those little winged babies. They're creepy, aren't they?"
Yeah, cherubim.
Cherubim are hella creepy. The only good news I have for you is those are not actually babies. They are vat-grown
babies,
clones. They were never a baby. Just to be really clear, it's not like those are actual like corpses of children. It is a thing that looks like a little baby, but it is not.
Dead baby.
Okay, I'm gonna remove that image there. So that's the last of the units that we've talked about, but there are some rare things that you wanted to mention.
There are stupid rare, and I believe some of these are misnomers in the background of Sisters of Battle. And that is that Sisters of Battle have access to a Thunderhawk. They have land speeders, which I believe they're probably going to get the land speeder Storm, if anything, or the old land speeders are going to be moved over to the Sisters of Battle because it just makes sense. And they have the mobile cathedrals. Now, these things are actually seen on a lot of the Sister of Battle artworks and everything, and they are literally Bane blades with cathedrals on them, with cannons. Very similar to the Leviathan of the Squats. I covered that in my video. But the Battle Cathedral is just a cathedral that has hundreds of weapons on it, and it moves entire battalions of Sisters of Battle in it, which is weird because it's only the size of a Land Raider, but GW doesn't know numbers. They also said a Leviathan could transport 120 like plus men, and it's only 80 meters long, so it's tiny. And then there's the Battle Sanctum itself, which is the Battle Sanctum is just buildings that the Sisters of Battle will build in their churches.
But they were a codex entry that you could have in 9th edition. You could actually say, I am buying this piece of terrain. It's called the Battle Sanctum, and it has these
was
effects.
so good. It was so good. It was a piece of ruin that you could put anywhere and block line of sight. It was great. I loved it.
If I may, I'd like to address this comment really quick. Scutari Boy says, I'm pretty sure they can still be real dead lobotomized babies, just not always. I assure you, sir, with authority, they are not babies. They look like babies, but they are not in fact babies, because Games Workshop does not deal in children of any kind. Victor, is this the I can't believe it's not butter thing? Okay. Oh, great. Scutari Boy goes, boring. Yeah, I know. Sorry.
In all fairness, in their One Kids book series, 3 children die.
Well, okay. So to be clear, I may be wrong about that. I'm going off the stuff I was told.
They don't die on screen, mind you.
I'm going off the conversations I had with Games Workshop like a couple of years ago. So 3, 4, 6, 7 years back. These are the conversations that we had, and they may have changed their mind about that, because things evolve, things change over time. I mean, at least as far as I know, as far as everything that I've experienced in my life and talked to the guys at Games Workshop, that they don't have any interest in any dead children of any kind. So,
have you seen Art the Clown from the Terrifier series?
I've seen the first movie. Yeah.
Okay. The creator has said that Art does children, like he kills them, but the director will never show that. So that's the same with GW. It's like it's implied, but they'll never state it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's probably a better way to go there. We have a super chat.
Oh, I was going to grab the other ones that we have.
Okay, well, great. I'm going to do this one first, and then we'll jump back to this other.
Sounds great to me.
Mechanical Beanstalk, thank you, sir. I'm a fan of the Blood of the Martyr supplement for Dark Heresy. Woo! And the faith powers are listed in it. Spiritual Mirror equals fail the fear check. No, you. Yeah, Spiritual Mirror. That was it. So, Blood of the Martyrs. I could talk about this book at length, because I was there from start to finish on that book. Man. And it's a fun ride. We decided to do Sisters of Battle right in Dark Heresy, and that was the whole genesis of Blood of Martyrs as a book.
I should tell you about the uncorruptible Sister of Battle that I built.
Oh, I bet it's fun.
It was like me and Victor, we joined this campaign where the GM was a complete jerk, and me and Victor know the setting better than they did. So we both built characters with the intent of breaking the setting. So I had an uncorruptible Crusader battle sister who couldn't gain any corruption, and any corruption she gained would just go to her like madness, and then she would decrease that because of other things that I tacked into. It was crazy. I loved it. Let's see. Did we get this one?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, Sebastian Mueller, 7013 says, theoretically, the Sisters of Battle would be Slanesh followers without realizing it. Sisters of Battle can be corrupted by, unlike Grey Knights, Sisters of Battle can in fact be corrupted by chaos.
So there is currently, there is one battle sister who is fully corrupted, and that is Mariel Sabathiel. And what makes her really cool is she can wield 2 demon weapons. And at the time of her being written, that was a huge thing. She is a Slanesh champion. She doesn't have a body, and her head is just what's attached to her armor forever. And she's a really cool character. And with her, she has a bunch of Sisters of Battle who died, and then their bodies got possessed by demons and walk with her. As of other Sisters of Battle, we do know that corrupted sisters exist, but the Sisters of Battle tend to hunt them down like the Dark Angels hunt the Fallen.
All right, so is there any other super chats? Yes. We talked about that one already.
Yep, we got a new member.
Hey, thank you. Zach Wells 441. Ricky Chapman 3377. We enjoyed the recent reveal that the Penitent Engines are Nostroman in origin. It's in the new Night Lords book. Oh,
Yes,
would
they
make
are.
certain sense.
It makes total sense, but I liked when they were Dark Age of technology torture devices.
Eh, I mean, they
like
can
them
still be
both.
both. They can
Yeah,
technically be
exactly.
both, but yeah. All right. And Necroplayer97 says, any tips, plot hooks, and potential problems for running Sisters as a PC, NPC, or encounter for a role-playing game?
Oh my god, there's so many. I
So
mean,
many.
the easiest, if you're running a sister battle, run one that is questioning her faith is always a really, really good like angle to make it so that it works with a party, so you don't have to play the super puritanical sister battle.
Yeah, the paladin. It's the paladin problem from early D&D.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to be the cop that tells everybody else how to play.
Yeah. So the questioning sister of battle who is escorting somebody is a really good like field for that. You could run a sister of battle as just an enemy. She could just view your party as heretical and thus just want to kill you.
Easy to do.
Yeah. As an NPC, if a sister of battle is on her, like doing a convent around, and she happens to be aboard a space station ship that you're a part of, she could barter some equipment that's pretty rare that only she could get. So you could have a merchant sister of battle, which could be really cool and a way of introducing rarer tech for your war band. So in case of being like, oh, well, where would we get a bolter? She just happens to have one that she's willing to part with, as this is somebody else's that I found and I'm willing to sell it.
Well, orders, a sister from the Orders Pernatus would basically be a galactic Indiana Jones going around to different, she'd be hunting relics from the ancient past and stuff like that. Religious relics specifically.
Yeah. So she would trade you a couple of items from the sister armory.
Another, I can't believe we didn't do this when we did the Rogue Trader role-playing game, but a sister of battle who got a warrant of trade would be a very interesting character.
Oh my god, that would be horrifying.
No, it'd be actually really interesting. I think it'd be really cool. So I think there's a story to be told there as an NPC. That'd be very interesting. Sisters Repentia are also.
Sisters Repentia are really good.
If you just want to fight some Sisters of Battle, have them run into some Repentia.
Yeah, that's always easy. If you want one as a temporary ally, you could have a traveling Sackerson.
Yeah, Celestian Sackerson, one of the questing knights. Professor Shep says, Sister Indiana, Slith. Why did it have to be Slith?
Heck yeah.
Love it.
Whoop, I grabbed that one already.
Mechanical Beanstalk. We already did
that.
Wait,
we answered that one. Sorry.
Yeah.
It was just the last one in the list.
Well, before we move on, and we're getting close to where we're going to need to drop in and do the end of the giveaway. I want to talk about the craziest sister battle vehicle, period. The most insane thing that has ever been written for Sisters of Battle when it comes to vehicles. I'm talking about the Void Cathedrum, also known as the Invasion Cathedrum. Yeah. It's a type of spaceship that's 3 miles long. It is a cathedral complete with, beautiful pinnacles, stained glass windows, all that stuff. But it's also a weapon of war with macro cannons, sonic disruptors, magma warhead firing bombardment cannons, torpedoes, lance batteries, ordnance turrets, all the stuff that you would see on a spaceship. But this thing can land. It's got battle chapels for boarding actions and planetary landings. This came from the Sisters of Battle comic book series.
Oh, yeah. This one.
Yeah, the Sisters of Battle comic book series is this thing, and it is absolutely crazy. There's one known that's called the Daughter of the Emperor. It has a top-mounted statue of Saint Catherine with her sword raised. It is like the most space Catholic thing I can imagine.
I love it.
It is absolutely ludicrous. Morning to Crescent actually says, are we not mentioning that incident with the Sisters and the Grey Knights? Good.
Okay, I can mention this because they address it in another codex. So the Sister of Battle and the Grey Knights killed a bunch of Sisters of Battle. This was who was the guy that wrote the codex with everyone being overpowered?
Matt Ward.
Matt Ward. Matt Ward wrote a story where the Grey Knights needed to become even more pure, even though they're almost uncorruptible. They themselves, I believe, are uncorruptible. It's just their armor can get possessed, which is weird. But anyway, they killed a bunch of Battle Sisters and they put all their blood on their armor. This was later talked about in a Battle Sister book where I can't remember the exact book, so forgive me, but they do mention their relations with the Grey Knights and the rumors of the bloodletting between them.
I think that became an unreliable narrator history thing.
It's also weird that the sisters know about the Grey Knights.
Sounds cornate to me. So it's aggressive.
Yeah.
It is weird. I mean, that's one of those weird things in 40K, but we're getting to that point. So I'm actually going to go over here and we'll announce our winner of the giveaway. So let me go ahead and choose a winner.
And I'm trying to get the setup for showing off some cool minis that our fans have painted and have posted in the Discord. So if you guys are not a member of the Lorebeards Discord, please join it. Check it out. You can post cool miniatures, and then we check them out at the end of each of our shows. No one painted up Sisters of Battle. I'm very disappointed.
So I apologize. There's the chat has listed 2 winners. I apologize. That was me. I screwed up. The actual winner, to be clear, is Osmolos0575. Congratulations. You've won the Scouts. Yes. Please do me a favor and send Sotek a screenshot of your YouTube account to verify that you won. I will inform Sotek of your username and we will get you your prize. Thank you very much for being a part of our first giveaway, everybody. That's awesome.
Yeah, good job. Congrats. All right, I'm trying to get some stuff together. If you guys want to post some miniatures right now, please do so in the Discord. I am getting everything ready. And
wait. Oh my God, says Osmolos 0575. Congratulations. So yeah, in case you didn't know, Osmolos, please take a screenshot of your YouTube account and send it to Sotek on the Discord. I will inform Sotek of your username.
Hell yeah, congrats. So
do we have images of minis to go over?
Oh yes, we do, and we have 4 greater demons. Well, 3 greater demons and a demon prince.
All right, let's throw them up. What do we got here? So, Bellicor.
This is sent to us by a friend or trader, and these are absolutely beautiful demons. And look at this Bellicor. Bellicor is just a beautiful model. Like, he is just amazing. And yes, Bellicor. I always pronounce it Bellicor because I always imagine that he's belly dancing towards you.
He is dripping. He has got a lot of drip on him. Check out the highlights on the horns there. Those are nice.
Yeah. I like that the black is also highlighted. A lot of people miss this where they don't do any of the chest highlights. And yeah, you can actually see all the horns here are highlighted and all of the bones and everything on the wings. He's got blood dripping. This is great. I love this.
Osmolos 0575 says, okay, I send the message directly. Yes, please send the message directly to Sotek with a screenshot of your YouTube account.
Alrighty. All right. So checking out something else from Friend or Trader, these greater demons. This one is
Lord of Change. Look at that.
I still argue that the Lord of Change and the Keeper of Secrets should have switched names.
I mean, I don't disagree. So here's a really good example of using a lot of different colors to create a really interesting contrast. The blue and the gold are a great contrast. The white and the purple are a great contrast. And these colors, this makes a very striking model. Like, this is one I would see and go, ooh, what is that? I want to get a closer look. This guy's basing. He's got a good base there. But I'm going to compliment his use of colors above all. That is a eye-catching mini.
Yeah, I love the Lords of Change. They always look fantastic.
Oh, is that Kairos Fate Weaver?
This is Kairos Fate Weaver.
Oh, all right, cool.
I mean, you're still correct. It is still a Lord of Change.
But it is the Lord of Change. Check out the brass on the beaks there. That's really well done. The gold. Is it gold? Gold or brass?
It's gold.
Okay.
And then we got a Bloodthirster, also done by Friend or Trader.
Can I answer a super chat really quick?
Yeah, go right ahead.
At Axe40, I think that's how you pronounce it, asks, what Black Library novels did you guys recommend for Sisters of Battle? The ones written by James Swallow are my
Yeah, if it's written
recommendations.
by James Swallow, absolutely. Mark of Faith is absolutely incredible, and I am going to do this, but Our Martyred Lady is one of the best if you want a Celestine book.
So this Bloodthirster here has a very nice deep red. I like the color of that. I also like his eyes being kind of a golden yellow. That's kind of nice. I wish I could see the base. I'm not gonna lie.
Sort
of.
Similar base. It's the broken up rock base.
Okay. That base could be a little bit. I'm gonna say this. You're gonna hear this a lot from me. That base could use a little more work, but it's not bad.
It is in fact all about that base. About that base.
I would like to see. I would like to see if we could close. I don't know if there's a better look at that head, but oh yeah, there is the highlights on the horns there that I was looking for. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the tongue and the teeth. That's really well done
this
too.
This is really good.
Well, good job. Good job.
And then we got Rodigus. Wait, is this
Rodigus?
Wow.
I don't know.
I always forget which face is Rodigus.
But that's a hell of a Nurgle demon right there. The greens and the yellows. Look at the yellow edging on the belly slice there. That's really nice.
I love this. I love the pink entrails. That's super nice too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So my recommendation to make this one pop a little more. Do something with those skulls to make them stand out from the chains.
Yeah. I do like the. It's not what is it called? It's not nickeling. Is it nickeling? When it turns blue, when the brass turns blue.
Yeah, I don't know what that's called.
But that is really nice.
Yeah, this is a good mini. I would like to see those skulls pop a little bit more, but it's really good.
Mm-hmm. I like the arm being a slightly different color. It looks like it's actually getting like, something is holding it here and its arm is just dying.
The colors are great. Like you can pick out the different yellows he uses amongst the greens, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan of that color.
Have you ever seen the Great Clean one?
No, I have not.
Oh my God. I will show you that at one point in the future. This is from a newer painter, I believe.
It's a Necron.
Grim Isaac.
Oh, Grim Isaac. Wow, that's
first model painted.
That's a very clean Necron there. I like the white on the gun. That's unusual. And I dig it.
A little bit of a wash will go a long way on it, but
agreed. You're missing a wash.
First mini. Yeah, this is good.
A wash will help bring out a lot of those details. Null oil, do you think, Alexis?
Either Null oil or you could go Agrax on this to get the more brassy look to it.
Yeah, that's a good start though, Grim Isaac.
Yeah, I really like this.
I'm sorry, who'd you say was this?
It's Grim Isaac.
Yeah, that's a really good start, Grim Isaac.
And then we got...
Oh my God, Sigvald!
Now, I'm going to allow this one because this is very clearly a Demon Prince of Slaanesh for 40k.
Oh, no, that's Sigvald. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, but a lot of people actually use the Sigvald miniature for a Demon Prince because it's about the same height.
Well, I mean, it fits because Sigvald is a Slaaneshi character through and through. Look at those. Look at the way that the armor is detailed. That's a really great use of color and highlights on the armor.
Yeah, I love this. This is done by Wendigo. And one of the cool things about Sigvald here is a lot of people use this miniature in 40k and Horus Heresy. In Horus Heresy, this model just looks better than Fulgrim. So people run it as Fulgrim. But in 40k, like I said, Demon Prince without wings, or Demon Prince with wings if you count the cape.
Well, check out that base. Look at that.
Yeah.
Now that is a goddamn base. Yep. I am impressed with that. Overall, that is absolutely excellent. Is there a closer image we could get on the cloak? It looks like there's some hand painted details on the cloak that are really cool.
Yeah, there is.
Wendigo, you are a freak of nature, sir. I am impressed.
Also, the non-metallic gold.
Yeah,
very good.
Yeah, just wow, bro, you're killing it. Ooh.
This is also done by Wendigo.
That's neat. What is this model?
This is a model from Cursed City. This is a zombie ogre.
Oh.
Or it's a No, is it the Yeah, it's the zombie ogre, not the vampire ogre yet. There's no vampire ogre. There's a undead ogre thing, but this is the undead variant of it.
Okay, the model looks amazing. Every detail is done.
I like the
extremely
color
well.
theory here.
Yeah, the base is really boring, and you need to do something with it.
Yeah, how dare you? We expect perfection from you, Wendigo.
I'm sorry. It's the one thing that my eyes are instantly going to go to that and be like, hey, wait a minute. But no, the model looks fantastic. Check out the fingers in the hand there on the axe, and look how the color gradiates. The gradients go from the dark pink to the kind of unhealthy yellow. But that yellow, that pale color on his fingernails, is different than the yellow that's on his coat, which is very cool. And it's really difficult to highlight fur correctly, but look at his hat. And
I love this.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Over here, you can actually see a more
good Lord
look at his face, where it actually looks almost putrid. I love this.
Yeah. Wendigo, you need to be entering painting contests. That is obvious to me. Oh
and then
my
this
God.
is still by Wendigo. This is
crap,
look at
those. Look at those colors.
What are these guys called? They have a new name.
Seekers of Slaanesh, I think.
They are Seekers of Slaanesh, but they have a different name when there's mortals writing them.
Well, they look redonkulous. That is a ludicrously well painted set. Just check out the purple and the pink. Oh my God, the tongues, bro. This are you fixing to enter Golden Demon? Because these guys are damn good.
Yeah, these are incredible.
I would
those bases.
aside from the bases, which were too obvious, I didn't want to say it. But if I was walking by your table at a grand tournament, I would literally stop in my tracks to look at this unit, because that is okay. So I would say if there's one thing I would recommend, is this the metal on these guys does. I mean, it's a little drab, and I guess what you're going for is you want people to focus on the flesh colors rather than the metal colors. But that helmet on this guy in the center, he's clearly a batter bearer. He ought to have like a slightly cooler helmet, or I feel like I should be able to see his flesh for better through the. So I'm nitpicking. I want to be really clear. This is a nitpick.
Are you gonna argue with a guy with an 8-pack?
Look at those, ridiculous abs. Coops 2788 says Hellstriders? ?
I think they're called Hellstriders. I always forget what the mortals are called.
Oh, Custodes.
Blue Custodes. This is from Halo. And this is a dead project for a kill team that won't happen. Aw.
Bummer, because that's a really pretty Custodes. And you don't see those colors on Custodes very often. That's
you know what it reminds me of?
An Ultramarine?
No, it looks like a cop.
Okay.
But it looks like almost a Judge Dredd style cop. I don't know why. It feels very Judge Dredd cop to me.
I'm going to say this: blue and silver actually work for Custodes. That is that's a paint scheme that's very unusual, but works, and it works really well. I like it a lot. I also like your terrain in the background behind it, because that is freaking rad.
Terrain is crazy good.
Yeah, well done, very well done. Okay, another one of
that face.
Wow,
look at that face.
Wow, that's nice. I like it. I dig it quite a bit. Great base work. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like, everything I want to say about this is already kind of covered. So yeah, very, very nice.
Here's a Roomba. This is also done by Halo, and this is the Plague Roomba. That is actually this model's nickname, is the Roomba. They're just adorable little guys. Look at them. They're so cute. They're so deadly. And you always see like 2 to 3 of these things on a battlefield every time you face Death Guard. They do things when you're not facing them.
This is obviously well, he's done a really good job. Okay, so this is one of those places where you could actually pick out the different metals. Like there's the triple arrow and the triple, I don't know, sockets there on the front of it that are silver. And then the other metal work around the legs and around the top is more of a brass color. That's interesting. I really like the glowing eye. I love the detail on all the fleshy bits, and especially the parts that are poking through the armor or dripping with blood. Bro,
This is something I started doing because I
damn,
love the idea of Nurgle actually being like showing the pain that they're in.
this is rad. This is
Yeah.
extremely rad.
And then
Great
we
job,
got,
dude. Ooh. Oh, that's disgustingly awesome.
yeah, I love this. This makes me happy.
Yeah,
Like
well done.
just the like infectious goo falling out of it. It's so gory. It's so good. I love the tracks with the stuff on it, the goop on it. I actually do this very thing, so I am very happy to see other people do it.
The
I did
attention to
it.
the attention to detail of the little trail of slime where the tracks are,
Mhm.
that's actually big. I want to be clear. It seems like a minor thing, but that is something that a judge will be like, oh, well done, well done. You know, that's a
Yeah.
notice. That's something I noticed.
Oh, I love these things. I love how gross they are. They're just
Yeah,
so awesome.
great guys. Keep sending us these great looking minis because I love looking at really good, nice minis, and you guys are killing it.
This is also done. The next two are by Halo. It's going to be a what is this guy called? He's a Lord of Contagion.
Mm.
So this is done by Halo also, and this thing looks really good.
Yeah, great colors. Highlights are good. Look at the wrap
Highlights
on
great.
look at the wrap on the axe. That's really nice. That's good use of
I like
that's a good use of a wash right there for anybody who's wondering. Like that is an excellent use of a wash.
I like the rust being in the correct spots.
Yeah, that's sick.
Oh, I love this.
That's sick. So with Nurgle, like a lot of times I want to say, well, you should make this pop, you should make that pop, but on Nurgle you don't. Nurgle is you want the fleshy bits and the blood and you want those to be the things that pop, and all the metal should be kind of faded and rusty and nasty looking. So this is a great example of the contextual colors used very
Also,
well.
the flesh tone right here.
Yep. Agreed.
Absolutely love it. And then we got a brighter look. This is a bad camera picture, but overall I really like this because it does show, like you can see that the camera messed this picture up. But I wanted to show that it can see the 3 different colors inside the crack in the armor.
That's hot.
So excuse the poor camera, but this is really nice. And there's even a highlight on all. Is there a highlight on all 3 of these? There's a highlight on 2 of them.
Yeah,
which is still really good.
That's a lot of attention to detail there. Oddly enough, this is one of those where I'm like, you need a banana for scale.
Yeah.
But it's really nice. What is this one?
This is a Chaos Spawn by Halo as well.
Oh, that's an interesting head for a Chaos Spawn. I think I'm willing to bet that this is your kit bash.
It looks like the Chaos Spawn kit with a kit bashed head.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like this head. This head actually pulls this model together really well. Because the one thing about the Chaos Spawn is you buy one Chaos Spawn and you make like 5 Chaos Spawn out of it because you just take green stuff and put it into a ball and you just shove things into it.
Yeah, that's a perfectly good Chaos Spawn there. Nothing wrong with it.
I do like the tentacle coming out of it that's all bloody and everything. This honestly reminds me of like the modern interpretation of a Wendigo.
A little bit.
Not an actual Wendigo, not like from Native American legend, but like the modern horror interpretation of them. And look at that butt. Damn. Dude's got cake.
Wow. You like a big spawn and you cannot lie?
The Battle Brothers cannot deny. Look at that cake.
Wow. All right. Is that the last one?
I believe so. I will check again, but look at all this blood and everything, all the detail on it. Oh, I love it. The one thing that I would suggest when doing a blood effect like this, take your paintbrush. Let me see if I have take like a terrible dry brush that you have. Like this one should be thrown out. I need to dip this one and get it unhardened. But if it's hardened, just put the blood effect on it and just flick it. Just a tiny bit to give it the blood trickle effect.
Agreed. That is something that would improve this, but it's I mean, we're talking about taking it from a 8 to an 8.5. It's already really, really good.
And then I'm gonna try to grab the others that were posted just now.
What? Oh my god.
Oh, these look like the sanctifiers.
Wow. That's wild.
So this is Roth's homebrew chapter on top of a McFarland Marine.
Huh.
I like this.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's word bearers, maybe. Interesting.
I forget the name of his chapter. He could either write it in the chat here or send it to me.
Salamanders.
But it's a salamander successor.
Yeah, it's a salamander successor. It's not word bearers. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the more lizard-esque head. I like the all the fixings on the shoulder pad.
Yep.
I like this. It almost looks like he's got a katana.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
But maybe not a katana because the handle is round. So this has a name. This exact sword has a name. It's not a naginata. It's I don't know my Japanese swords too well, sorry. But I do like all the cloth and everything hanging from it. I really like the flame on it. It looks really nice. This just looks really cool. I dig it.
All right, now we got some.
And then we get
yeah, nice. The backpacks look really good there.
Yeah.
And then we got some sisters with Joker smiles? Question mark.
Yeah, these are novitiates.
Huh.
That's the base kit that I'm seeing.
Okay.
Halo didn't post what they are. I'm sure they'll say it in the chat. I think they're still here. Oh, his this homebrew chapter is called the Ashen Knights.
Okay.
Which is a really good name, actually.
That's a very good name for salamanders.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting with these novitiates is if you can zoom in on the one on the right a little bit. So that
you're thinking the same thing I'm thinking, right? That one PDF regiment of guardsmen with the masks.
The Maccabean Janissaries?
Yes.
Yeah, the Maccabean Janissaries are from Dark Heresy, which is kind of awesome. Only War, which is connected to Dark Heresy, apologies. But it does look like a mask, the way it's painted, which is really cool.
Yeah, I really like that.
Black metal inspired novitiates is what he says they are.
Oh, that's awesome.
Black metal. All right, so clearly they have wandered out of the woods of Finland to praise the emperor and to rock, and they are all out of bubblegum. I know, I was terrible. I couldn't think of a better way to mention that. But
I really like the base work. The base work is incredible.
That is very striking, and
yeah,
it makes me want to know more. But they are a little bland, other than their faces.
I kind of like it though. Like I know that's.
I don't hate it. I want to be clear. I don't hate it.
The base is doing a lot of the work.
It is. It really is. But it does make like the chaplet ecclesiasticus that this one's holding up. It really makes that the one on the left makes it looks like it, that makes it pop, right? Because their armor's kind of drab.
I also like the Northesium it's carrying.
Yeah, well, I think they have a different name for it, but yeah, it's
because this is the novitiate kit. I forget what they call it, but it's a trainee version of the hospitaller. But it's so cool. Look at that. I really like this. I dig this.
It's very good. And you can see the gray highlights on the hand on that last one.
He kind of looks like he has buck teeth though.
Well, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, the highlights on the hand, the highlights on the I'm just gonna call this an Northesium until we find the actual name. The cat hair. Look at that cat hair.
as far as I can tell, it's just a Medicaid tool.
Okay.
But I don't. There's probably a term for it. I just don't know what it is.
This one is the best.
Yeah, I like the mask look, especially.
Yeah. I dig it so much. These all looked incredible. Everyone, you guys did a fantastic job this week. I can't wait to see more next week. We'll see more.
I do have one thing I'd like to hype. If Alexis can put up the link for it in the banner, that'd be great. It's in the Discord.
Yes. One moment. I have like 4,000 things open.
You guys might be interested in something that I just published recently. It's a book called Enemies Unleashed. It is a book of 17 supervillains for your superhero RPG campaign. All the stats are for a game called Prowlers and Paragons, which, if you're not familiar with it, is a fantastic superhero role-playing game. She's posted the link in the chat for it. There it is. Prowlers, Paragons, Enemies Unleashed. If you want 17 awesome supervillains for your game, go grab that. Here's the fun part. There's a meta story about a prison break that you can include in your campaign if you want, because each of the supervillains talks about like what they did during the prison break. It also talks about whether they can be redeemed or not. Some of the supervillains can be redeemed, and how, and others obviously cannot be redeemed. But it gives you a lot of tools to interject these characters into your setting. It's not just the background, it's not just the powers. There's a whole package involved. So check it out if you want to support me. This would be a great way to do that. And thank you guys for I appreciate to Andy and Sotek for letting me promote my material on the show. So Micah says, after playing Dispatch, I am in a superhero mood. Yeah, Dispatch will do that.
It really does. It really
Dispatch
does.
will do that.
Okay.
Did you have anything that you wanted to promote? Otherwise, we could talk about what's coming up for our shows.
There is a couple of things that I've posted on my channel. If you guys want to know more about like the random assortment of vehicles, I'm doing an entire series on the Imperial Guard and all the background vehicles and everything that makes up the logistics of the Guard. And it's going to be a 10-part series, because I'm going to go into all the details on their equipment, how they're deployed, and all of their stuff. I really like talking about tanks and logistics. And I'm going to go into Sisters of Battle next, then Space Marines, then Tyranids is the goal for right now. So if you guys like hearing me rant about lore, check out my channel. It's over here. There it is. Yeah.
It's mirrored, so I think you have to go to the other corner.
Yeah, it's weird because I want to go over here, but it's over here.
So just so you guys know, this was the part 1 of the Sisters Battle. We haven't talked too much about their special characters. We haven't talked about the 6 matriarchs and the 6 orders majoris. We haven't really discussed how the organization of the different levels of the Sisters of Battle. There's more to go into, and actually just talking about the special characters and the matriarchs will take us through at least a full episode. I guarantee it. But thank you guys for joining us about this. Oh, we have we need to do a part 2 of Who Are the Space Marines, because there's a lot more to cover with Who Are the Space Marines.
Oh my god, yes.
There's only so much we can get through in a 3-hour block, and frankly, I mean, by the time this show is over, I'm just like, oh, I'm drained. So
and it is almost midnight for me, so I pretty much pass out right after this.
So there's going to be parts 2 for that. I don't think, but coming up, let's just double check on that. So coming up,
I will definitely be talking about this.
Oh, Celestine and Greyfax. Ooh, yeah, that
is 100% a ship.
I ship them as almost as much as Gilliman and Evrain, and I ship them quite a bit. So, all right, looks like we've got we had a poll recently, community poll. Thank you if you participated in that. And you, chat, decided that we need to talk about who are the Tyranids. That's coming up. And we also have, who is Caiaphas Cain, hero of the Imperium?
Heck yeah.
Micah says, I would love making an Order Militant stream one day. Yeah, that would be making a Sister of Battle Militant, making a Sister Battle Order would be hot.
I think at this point we have all of them listed as a making of thing, and I am stupid excited, because I'm really excited for making a Guard regiment, and I want to see how you guys react to that.
I also want to cover some of these historical stuff, like the Age of Apostasy. There's so much more going on in the Age of Apostasy. I mean, we hit the highlights. We definitely hit the highlights. But there's periods like the Nova Terra Interregnum that was mentioned here that would be a really fun historical moment to go over, talk about. I've pitched the Council of Nicaea as something I'd like to discuss at length, because there's historical moments in 40K that are just awesome, frankly. One of the best parts of this lore is the way they describe the history of their setting and how they've built it over time. So
The worst part of their lore is when they have a lore blurb that completely destroys an entire story. It's one sentence.
It's happened before. So yeah, stick with us. We're gonna have a lot of really cool Lorebeards content coming out for you guys for 40K, and yeah, that's basically our show for today. Alexis, final thoughts on Sisters of Battle?
I also picked up the paint to paint the captain of our custom-made chapter.
The Gorgon's Talents.
And I'm getting the after the holidays, I'm actually getting a transfer for all of their iconography. So we will have the actual iconography on the shield itself.
The heraldry that was created by chat, as a matter of fact. So we're talking about the Gorgon's Talons, which is the Space Marine chapter we came up with chat, collaborated with you guys.
And listened.
It was great. We had a good time on the creating a Space Marine chapter episode. Go check that out if you don't want to see more about the Gorgon's Talons. But yeah, final thoughts on Sisters of Battle, Alexis.
They are the best part of all of 40K. They are like they are the thing that got me into this game. They are the thing that's keeping me into this game. I love my nuns with guns, my Melta maidens, my bolter. Anyway, I absolutely love these girls so much, and you should too.
Melta Maidens is great. If people want to see your cosplay of a Sister of Battle, they can go to your Instagram.
It's on my Instagram. It's also on my YouTube channel.
So
and it's on my TikTok.
So go check out her cosplay of Sister of Battle because she's got a full suit, including a helmet. It's pretty rad. You can see the helmet right behind her.
I have both gun and that. And the actual rest of the outfit is in a box behind the couch.
Oh, I bet your power pack's down there too, in the boots.
No, the power pack is actually on the back of that.
Oh wow, okay, fantastic. Yeah. So
I gotta fix it.
Sisters Battle have been a part of the game since I started playing.
They've been part of the game longer than Chaos Space Marines.
Not true, but almost.
Rogue Trader. Chaos Marines came out in a supplement to Rogue Trader. I count that as a win.
They're almost as long as Sisters of Battle, but Sisters of Battle are great. With you guys, and we'll see you next time. So,
all right, everyone. Take care.
Cheers.
Love you guys. Bye.